3 days before the apocalypse, my system activated. The system has just been activated, and the end of the world has come. Congratulations to their host, God-level prophet system, has been successfully bound. Their host can obtain points by completing system tasks, and consume points to predict the future. The system gift package has been issued. Congratulations to their host, you have won the following prize. Alert! Alert! Special alert! After 72 hours, affected by unknown cosmic rays, more than 80% of the 7 billion people on Blue Star will become zombies, and other plants and animals may also mutate. Blue Star will enter a long Doomsday era. Please prepare as soon as possible. Nima. Lin Mo, who was listening to the system prompt sound happily, cursed directly. He traveled through 20 years and finally waited for his golden finger, but the system was activated and the end of the world came. Is this system sure not to play with him? However, after cursing, Lin Mo also realized the seriousness of the problem after calming down. The system will definitely not joke about such things. 72 hours later, 80% of the people on Blue Star will become zombies, and the entire Blue Star will become a paradise for zombies. He must make some preparations. Fortunately, he had not forgotten Resident Evil and The Walking Dead that he had watched in his previous life, and he quickly sorted out his thoughts. If you want to survive in the Doomsday, the most important things are food and water, and then weapons and transportation. Food and water guarantee survival, weapons and transportation are used for fighting and escaping. Food and water are easy to get, but weapons and transportation are a bit troublesome. Lin Mo frowned. After he crossed over, he got the semi-standard configuration of the male protagonist of the online novel. Both parents died and there was no sister. Well, if it was the standard configuration, there should be an orthopedic sister. This made Lin Mo regret for a long time, but now it seems that he is alone and has no worries, which is a good thing. And his biggest problem now is that he has no money. In this world, China has a sound welfare system, and his living and schooling are all taken care of by social welfare institutions. Over the years, he has no worries about food and clothing, and he also has a fixed amount of pocket money every month. He is not rich, but he is not hungry. However, with the pocket money he saved, it is no problem to store some food and water, but it is a pipe dream to buy reliable means of transportation. There is another question: where should the food and water be stored? If you want to survive in the zombie apocalypse, a safe base is very important. Not only must you guard against the attacks of zombies, but also against the attacks of other survivors. Lin Mo looked at the old house where he lived and shook his head gently. This house was left by his parents, who are older than him. Although there are guardrails on the windows, they are rusty and can be pulled off with a strong pull. When the zombies rush up, the guardrails will not provide any protection at all. The most important thing is that this house is on the first floor, which is the most vulnerable position. And weapons. He didn't even dare to think about hot weapons such as pistols. The China of Blue Star is similar to China in the previous life. The control of hot weapons is extremely strict, and it is impossible to get them. As for cold weapons, kitchen knives and machetes are easy to get, but the problem is that these things are not durable. The best way to deal with zombies is to behead and headshot. And these parts will be broken after a few cuts with kitchen knives and machetes, and they are not useful at all. Lin Mo is a little confused. In the past, when watching zombie movies, the protagonists dealt with zombies like playing, and all kinds of supplies and props could be found at hand. But when the disaster happened to him, he realized that movies are just movies after all. In reality, any small trouble can make him unable to move. Just then, in his mind, the system prompt sounded again. The system gift package has been issued. Host, do you want to receive it now? Receive it. Lin Mo did not hesitate. Just now, when the gift package was issued, he was interrupted by their alarm sound, and he almost forgot about it. Congratulations to their host for receiving the following rewards. 1. Permanent system space. Volume 1000 cubic meters system space can be upgraded. Time in the space is stagnant, and only dead objects can be stored. 2. Body strengthening potion. After taking it, their host's physical fitness will be greatly improved. 3. 1000 points can be used to predict the future and purchase items in the system mall. This reward is tailor-made for me. Lin Mo's eyes lit up. If 1000 cubic meters of storage space were filled with food and water, he wouldn't have to worry about food for a long time. There are also body strengthening potions. For an ordinary student like him, this thing can give him basic combat power and greatly improve his ability to survive in the early days of the Doomsday. Then there are the 1000 points. He opened the system mall and took a look. The things in the mall can be roughly divided into 4 categories: attributes, props, skills, and daily necessities. Attributes can fundamentally change a person, such as the ancient holy body, immortal body, vampire blood, attribute points, etc. Once possessed, the life level will undergo an essential leap. The props are mainly tools, which belongs to external forces, ranging from Zhujian sword and Dongwang bell to Gatling and Nepalese saber, etc. Skills, as the name suggests, are all kinds of skills, from the most basic sonder, swordsmanship, to the unfathomable Niran 8 styles and Chindi fist, etc., covering everything. Finally, there are daily necessities. Simply put, all kinds of supplies needed for human daily life can be bought here, and the prices are shockingly low. Take Lin Mo's 1000 points as an example. Attributes, he doesn't need to think about it for the time being. The cheapest attribute point in it is 2000 points. For props, it's okay to buy a Nepalese saber for fun, and hot weapons start at 2000. The same is true for skills. The cheapest skill also requires 2000 points to start. But when it comes to daily necessities, the style is completely different. 1 point can buy a box of 1982 laugh at 1 point can buy a dozen of the best Weiju steaks. As for other things like clothes, shoes, hats, toilet paper, etc., 1 point can buy a bunch. It is no exaggeration to say that if Lin Mo uses all these 1000 points to buy daily necessities, it will be enough for him to live a worry-free and comfortable life for several years. Then he simply summarized these. System space equals mobile warehouse. Strengthening potion equals combat effectiveness improvement. System mall plus points equals endless daily necessities. In the zombie apocalypse, there is a certain combat effectiveness, a large amount of supplies, and a mobile warehouse. Is there anything more exciting in the world than this? Only Lin Mo would say that this gift package was tailor-made for him. And the few problems he had been struggling with before are no longer a problem. So, he directly opened the system panel. God-level profit system. Only host, Lin Mo. Intelligence, 98 plus normal adult intelligence is between 90-110. Strength, 90 plus normal adult average is 100. Endurance, 95 plus. Agility, 95 plus. Spirit, 85 100 plus 100 represents the upper limit of energy, 85 is the current mental state. Race, descendants of Yang and Huang ordinary. Special attributes, none. Skills, none. Items, none. Points, 1000. System mall, opened. The overall attributes are a bit weak, but I don't know how much this potion can improve me. Lin Mo muttered to himself, and with a thought, a bottle of blue potion appeared in his hand. Chapter 2, Attribute Surge, Preparing Before the Apocalypse. The moment the potion entered his system, a warm current spread throughout his body, instantly engulfing him. Then, Lin Mo felt a series of mild stings, as though countless fine needles were pricking various parts of his body. After about 10 minutes, the stinging sensation faded, and Lin Mo immediately stood up and walked to the mirror. Is that still me? Looking at the person in the mirror, Lin Mo was in awe. Before, he was 180 centimeters tall and weighed 130 kilograms, with long arms and legs, having a skinny physique. But now, the person in the mirror was 185 centimeters tall, with broad shoulders, a narrow waist, and long legs, a typical inverted triangle shape. Though not fat, his muscles were well balanced and firm, filled with explosive strength. Compared to before, he was practically a different person. Then there was his face. His facial features hadn't changed drastically, but what was once a mildly handsome face now had sharp, defined features. His eyebrows were like swords, his eyes clear and piercing, his face looking even more handsome than before. If he walked around a club now, wealthy women who would want to sponsor him could probably line up from the east to the west of the city. Too bad the apocalypse is coming soon. Otherwise, chasing after school beauties would be a blast. Lin Mo muttered to himself, then opened the system panel again. God-level profit system. Host, Lin Mo. Intelligence, 98 plus normal adult's intelligence is between 90-110. Strength, 200 plus normal adult's average 100. Endurance, 200 plus. Agility, 200 plus. Mentality, 200 plus. Race, descendants of Yang and Huang normal. Special talent, none. Skills, none. Items, none. Points, 1000. System mall, opened. Everything but intelligence has been boosted to double that of a normal person. Lin Mo's lips curled into a smile. The effect of the potion was far better than he'd imagined. Though zombies were terrifying after they mutated, before the appearance of more advanced evolved forms, their physical abilities were on the level of normal humans. Double the strength would make dealing with zombies much easier. He then put on his coat and went outside, planning to purchase some supplies. Although the system mall had everything, he preferred to save points whenever possible. Moreover, after the apocalypse started, money wouldn't be useful, so it was better to make practical use of it now. Leaving his home, he first went to the bank and withdrew his savings of 8,000 yuan. Then he went to the local steel market and ordered a custom-made mace. This decision came after some careful thought on the road. For dealing with zombies, weapons like machetes or axes would be the most convenient, good for chopping and easier for decapitation. His original idea was to customize a long sword similar to their Qinglong Yangyu blade, to facilitate chopping. However, considering that a sword might dull and could get stuck in the gaps between bones, he ultimately decided on the mace. One good hit to their head, and the head would definitely burst open. Even if it didn't explode the head, the massive force would still send any approaching enemy flying, making it, in some ways, safer than a big sword. Most importantly, this weapon wouldn't dull, and its lifespan would be much longer than a sword. In addition to their mace, he also ordered 2 machetes, one long 1.2 meters and one short 60 centimeters. In confined spaces, the mace might be hard to use, so these 2 could serve as replacements. Altogether, the 3 items cost him 3,000 yuan. The main cost was the material. To ensure durability, Lin Mo chose the best material he could find at the steel market, tungsten steel. There was also a rush fee of 500 yuan, ensuring he'd get his items in 3 days. Next, Lin Mo went to the wholesale market and bought a large amount of daily supplies: rice, flour, oil, meat, eggs, milk, fruits, vegetables, beverages, and miscellaneous items. He kept buying until he nearly spent all his savings, then headed home. On the way, as he passed a police station, he paused for a moment. There must be guns inside. He then thought of the local armed police station, which likely had even more guns. Maybe I can try it once the apocalypse starts, Lin Mo thought. But he didn't linger and continued heading home. Stealing or robbing guns right now was suicidal. Back home, Lin Mo reviewed his current situation. The food and water in the system space should last me at least 6 months. I don't need to worry about supplies for the short term. As for weapons, they are sufficient for now. In addition to the 3 custom weapons, when he bought supplies in the afternoon, he also bought some watermelon knives, pickaxes, large hammers, and ropes. Now, I'm just missing a vehicle and a safe, fortified location to survive the chaos of the early apocalypse. The next day. With just over 50 hours remaining until the apocalypse began, Lin Mo left early. He had already figured out the vehicle issue. He planned to go to a 4S dealership before the apocalypse started and acquire a few Hummers or G-Wagons, storing them in his system space. So the only thing left to solve was the base issue. He had 2 criteria for selecting an early-stage base. First, the location should be sparsely populated. Fewer people meant fewer zombies after the apocalypse started, making it safer and more conducive to survival. Second, the location should be hidden and easy to defend. He recalled places he was familiar with, and the only place that met both criteria was an abandoned industrial park on the outskirts of the city. It had originally been a factory zone but was shut down for urban construction and environmental reasons. The authorities had planned to tear it down and rebuild, but for some unknown reason, the project had been delayed, and it had been left to decay. However, when he arrived at the industrial park, he immediately abandoned the idea of using it as a base. Though it was sparsely populated, it was filled with stray dogs and cats, and the weeds were overgrown. According to the system alert, plants and animals could mutate as well. And from the movies Lin Mo had seen, he knew that mutated animals could be far more dangerous than zombies. So he had no choice but to shift his focus back to the city. Eventually, he chose the rooftop of the city's landmark, the Financial Tower, as his base. Chapter 3, Car Theft, The Apocalypse Begins. The financial tower, 108 stories tall, was the tallest building in Mingzhou City. The top 3 floors were all observation decks, offering a panoramic view of the entire city. The key point was that the top 3 floors' elevators couldn't directly reach them, one had to use the stairs. In the event of an apocalypse, as long as he sealed off the stairway entrances from above, that place would become a perfect, enclosed area easy to defend and hard to attack. More importantly, the apocalypse was set to begin on a workday, so aside from him, very few people would likely be there. The area wouldn't be crowded. This was, in essence, a location that perfectly met his 2 conditions. However, to ensure everything went smoothly, Lin Mo still spent 100 yuan on an entry ticket to the observation deck to inspect the place. Once he confirmed that the plan was viable, he returned home. The morning of the 3rd day. With just over 30 hours left until the apocalypse began, Lin Mo visited the steel market early and picked up the 3 custom-made weapons. The mace, measuring 2.1 meters in total length, had a 1.5 meter handle and a 0.6 meter head, with tungsten steel spikes covering it, making it look fierce and intimidating. However, the mace weighed 36 kilograms, which was only manageable because Lin Mo's strength was double that of a normal person. Otherwise, someone else would have trouble wielding it. The 2 machetes were 1.2 meters and 60 centimeters in length. The longer one had a 50 centimeters handle and a 70 centimeters blade, suitable for 2-handed use, while the shorter one had a 20 centimeters handle and a 40 centimeters blade, perfect for 1-handed slashing. Due to regulations, neither blade was sharpened, so Lin Mo had to grind them at home. Afternoon. Lin Mo went to the car city, visited several 4S dealerships, and confirmed that the models he wanted were in stock before heading back home. On the way, he spent the last of his money on an electric grinder, and once home, he sharpened the 2 machetes. Now, all that was left was to acquire the cars before the apocalypse began, and his preparations would be complete. During the past few days of preparation, Lin Mo had considered whether he should report his findings to the authorities. But after some thought, he abandoned that plan. On one hand, he couldn't prove that the apocalypse would actually come. On the other hand, even if he did tell them, the authorities probably wouldn't believe him. As a transmigrator, he had been influenced by web novels and was accustomed to the idea of a system. So, it was easy for him to accept the fact. But if he told the people of this world that he had a system and that the system predicted the apocalypse, they'd probably think he was crazy. Worse yet, they might arrest him for attempting to create panic. So, Lin Mo decided it wasn't worth the risk. The morning of the 4th day. With just over 2 hours left before the apocalypse began, Lin Mo arrived at the Hummer 4S dealership in the car city and requested a test drive of an H2. The sales staff didn't underestimate him due to his age or appearance. After checking his driver's license, they handed over the test vehicle. Looking at the tall, rugged, beastly vehicle, Lin Mo's eyes lit up. Every man dreams of owning a luxury car. And he was no exception. The Hummer H2 was powered by a 6.0 L V8 gasoline engine, producing 325 horsepower and 522 Newton-meters of torque. The car's height was 2 meters, with a ground clearance of over 0.4 meters, featuring independent suspension with AA arms. It could climb up to a 30-degree incline and wade through 0.76 meters of water. Its off-road capabilities were exceptional, earning it the title of the world's most unstoppable off-road vehicle, the king of off-roading. In addition, its integrated winch at the front and large bumper, linked to the engine hood, further enhanced its off-road capabilities. This car was definitely the best mode of transportation for the apocalypse. After test driving it, Lin Mo immediately fell in love with it. Then, he tricked the sales staff out of the car and drove off. The sales staff never imagined that someone would be bold enough to steal a car so blatantly in this day and age. It wasn't until the taillights disappeared that they realized what had happened and immediately called the police. Meanwhile, Lin Mo had already stored the H2 in his system space, then dated to the Mercedes-Benz 4S dealership. Using the same method, he drove off with a black G-Wagon, then grabbed a Range Rover before leaving the car city, satisfied. The car theft wasn't his original plan, but it couldn't be helped. The cars in the system counted as items, and their prices ranged from hundreds to thousands of points, which was something he couldn't afford at the moment. With the remaining time, he headed to the top floor of the financial tower. As expected, there were only 3 staff members on the top floor, and very few other people. Without hesitation, Lin Mo knocked out the 3 staff members and placed them in the elevator. Then, he returned to the observation deck, locked the entrance from the inside with the chain locks he had bought earlier, and secured the area. As soon as he finished locking the door, a thunderous crash echoed through the sky. The once clear sky quickly turned dark, and a fierce wind began to blow. Despite it being just before noon, the sky darkened, almost like evening, and an eerie atmosphere filled the air. Lin Mo knew it had begun. The next moment, a system prompt echoed in his mind. Apocalypse era arrives, triggering long-term mission. Have you killed a zombie today? Mission requirements: kill at least one zombie per day. Mission rewards: 1. 5 points for each zombie killed, with no limit to stacking. 2. Extra rewards for cumulative zombie kills. Mission penalties: failing to complete once results in a 1,000 point deduction, twice results in a 2,000 point deduction, and so on. The penalties stack infinitely. Please choose, do you accept this mission? Accept. Lin Mo didn't hesitate for a second. He had been worried about finding a source of points. A mission that gave points for free. Only a fool would refuse. Triggering phase mission: survive. Mission requirements: survive for 72 hours. Mission rewards: 2,000 points. Mission penalties: none. Please choose, do you accept this mission? Accept. Lin Mo didn't hesitate again. Whether he took the mission or not, he had to survive anyway, so getting extra points was just a bonus. He then turned to the observation area on the top floor, looking down through the telescope at the streets below. Chapter 4: First Kill. Coincidental thoughts. The streets were in complete chaos. The speeding car suddenly lost control and crashed violently. The following vehicles showed no signs of braking and continued to crash into the car at high speed, forming a large area of car rubble on the street in a moment. Some vehicles emitted thick smoke, while others were directly on fire. The bloody people struggled with stiff and twisted movements, trying to crawl out of the wrecked vehicles. The pedestrians around were transformed into zombies almost in an instant, and then those zombies that only had the instinct to eat rushed madly towards the normal humans nearby. Lin Mo saw with his own eyes that a middle-aged man who had luckily escaped being transformed into a zombie was bitten by a group of zombies in a moment. His flesh and blood were unrecognizable. The flying blood and blurred flesh made Lin Mo feel nauseous. But he forced himself to keep looking, not looking away. The end of the world has come, and such bloody scenes will become the norm in the future. He must adapt himself as soon as possible. It was not until the middle-aged man was completely overwhelmed by the zombies that Lin Mo turned the telescope and looked in other directions. But the scenes seen were similar. The whole city had turned into a city of zombies. Everywhere you look, there are cars emitting thick smoke and hordes of zombies. The population of Pearl City is over 20 million. According to the system's prompts, 90% of the people will become zombies, which means there are still about 2 million normal humans. I just don't know how many people will survive after the initial chaos. Lin Mo muttered to himself with a serious expression. Bang, bang, bang. A series of noises suddenly came from the entrance of the stairs. The corner of Lin Mo's eyes twitched, and with a thought, he took out the mace from the system space and walked over. The entrance door was locked by him from the inside. But through the gap that was pushed open, he could still see what was happening outside. The two zombies must have smelled his scent and were clinging to the crack in the door, trying desperately to squeeze in. One of them even had its head deformed, but was still trying desperately to squeeze in. Lin Mo observed the two zombies carefully. This was the first time he saw zombies in real life and at such close range. Judging from their clothes, they should be employees of the financial building. Different from the bloody and mutilated zombies outside, they looked quite complete. If you ignored their eyes with large whites rolled up and their twisted and stiff movements, they were almost the same as normal humans. However, since you are already a zombie, you must die. Lin Mo's mind moved. He put away the mace, took out the 1.2 meter long machete, and inserted the blade into the gap in the door that was pushed open by the zombies. The two zombies were not afraid at all and stretched out their hands hard, trying to grab Lin Mo. But with a 1.2 meter long knife and Lin Mo's arm length, the distance between Lin Mo and them was more than 1.5 meters, and they couldn't even touch the corner of Lin Mo's clothes. Call. The next second, Lin Mo took a deep breath and chopped the door hard from top to bottom with the machete in his hand. Puff. It's like the sound of a watermelon bursting. With the help of Lin Mo's 200 points of strength, the machete was unstoppable and split the head of one of the zombies into two. Red and white objects flew out, and Lin Mo felt a warmth on his face. A strong feeling of nausea followed, and his stomach felt like it was churning. He could no longer hold it in, and rushed to the side and vomited violently. I vomited for 3 minutes until all the bile in my stomach was vomited out, and then the nausea felt a little better. Wiping the corners of his mouth, he returned to the entrance again. The remaining zombie was still prying through the crack of the door, stretching out his hand, trying to squeeze in. Lin Mo did not hesitate and did the same thing again, splitting the zombie's head in half. Red and white objects flew everywhere, and a small pool of blood soon formed on the ground. There was also more blood on Lin Mo's face. The strong feeling of nausea came over him again, but this time, he held it back and forced himself to stare at the pile of flesh and blood on the ground, and forced himself to breathe in the air filled with the smell of blood. He must adapt to this environment as soon as possible. Only after the nausea completely disappeared did he stand up, walk to the side, and open the system panel. Points, 1010. The two zombies just now provided him with 10 points. Then, he opened the system mall and found the skill classification. Basic Knife Skills Beginner, price, 2000 points. Basic Mace Technique Beginner, price, 2000 points. Sonder Basic, price, 2000 points. Once the initial chaos is over, we need to earn more points as soon as possible. In actual combat, it is impossible for the zombies to stand there and be chopped by him like they did just now. Once he is besieged, relying solely on brute force will not work, and he must improve his fighting skills. Buzz. At this moment, a loud roar of an engine came from a distance. Anyone who can still drive at this time must be a normal person. Lin Mo immediately walked to their viewing window and looked over in the direction of the sound. Then I saw a Prado speeding on the road, heading towards the financial building. Doesn't this coincide with my idea? Lin Mo frowned. He is not opposed to teaming up with others, but in this chaotic stage, it is definitely not a wise choice to rashly team up with others. A moment later, with a squeak, the car did a beautiful drift and stopped at the door of the financial building. Then the car door opened, and a dashing woman wearing a leather jacket and leather pants, with a well-proportioned and slender figure and her hair tied in a high ponytail jumped out from the driver's seat. The woman was holding a blood-stained baseball bat in her hand. She quickly walked to the trunk, took out a professional mountaineering bag, and strode into the building. Chapter 5, The Fierce Woman Tang Ya, Seduces and Provokes. I really came here. Lin Mo's brows furrowed even more tightly. Then he thought about it, took out a backpack from the system space, put some food and water in it, and put it on his back. Matters concerning the system space must not be exposed at this moment. A moment later, he heard a ding sound. That was the sound indicating that the elevator had arrived at the designated floor. Then, as the clear footsteps gradually approached, the woman's figure appeared at the entrance of the sightseeing floor. When she saw the two zombies lying on the ground, she was visibly stunned. Then she stepped forward and pushed the door with the baseball bat in her hand. After seeing Lin Mo inside through the crack in the door, she immediately showed a bright smile. "Handsome guy, open the door. It will be safer if we team up." "Sorry, I don't have any plans to team up with anyone for the time being. Please find another place." Lin Mo refused directly. Although this woman has stunning looks, a first-rate figure, and a temperament that can kill a star in seconds, it is still better not to provoke a fierce person who dares to rush around with a baseball bat in the early days of the apocalypse. "Handsome guy, I've finally gotten here, please be kind and open the door for me." The woman showed a pitiful expression and pulled down the zipper of her leather jacket, revealing a deep cleavage that was deep enough to kill a mosquito. If any other LSP saw this scene, they would probably let down their guard and rush to open the door without hesitation. But Lin Mo still said, "Sorry, you should look for another place." The woman was stunned for a moment, as if she didn't expect that her method, which had always worked, would fail. "Hey, you're not brave enough to drive, are you? You're a grown man, are you afraid of a little woman like me?" The woman failed to seduce him, so she tried to provoke him. Lin Mo glanced at her cleavage and said, "You're not small at all." "Yes, my body is really good." The woman smiled even more brightly, with a hint of shyness on her face. "Little brother, please let me in. There are only two of us here, maybe we can." What else could she not say? But these hesitant and half-spoken words, coupled with her shy and timid expression, make it easier for people to imagine. Lin Mo remained unmoved. If you throw away their baseball bat, this performance might be more convincing. The woman looked at the bloody baseball bat in her hand, then glared at him. I'll ask you one more question, are you going to open it or not? She was just a little woman, but now she is an old lady. Lin Mo shook his head. No matter what you say, I won't open the door. It's not too late for you to leave now while there are no zombies around. Bang! As soon as he finished speaking, a loud noise was heard. The woman actually hit the chain lock on his door with a stick. Amidst the flying sparks, the lock of the chain broke directly. The woman kicked the door open and walked in. Damn man, I'm asking you this to give you face, do you really think this broken lock can stop me? Lin Mo said nothing, but clenched the machete in his hand and looked at her coldly. He was considering whether to just kill her. But considering the fighting ability shown by the woman, he was a little unsure whether he could beat her. After all, an average woman wouldn't be able to break the lock on the door in one go, let alone have the courage to come here alone. The woman felt the coldness coming from Lin Mo. Glancing at the blood-stained machete in Lin Mo's hand, she softened her attitude a little. Don't be so hostile. I have no choice but to do this. My car is out of gas and I can't drive anywhere else. Besides, this place is so big that it would be boring for you to stay alone. How about we use the center of this floor as the boundary and keep to ourselves? Lin Mo hesitated for a moment and nodded. Given this woman's fighting ability, even if he could defeat her, both of them would probably suffer losses. This is not a wise choice at this stage. The woman breathed a sigh of relief and slowly walked away from Lin Mo. Lin Mo waited until she walked away, took out another lock from his bag, and locked the door again. When the woman saw this scene, she was slightly stunned, her expression a little subtle, but she didn't say anything. Lin Mo returned to the observation deck and continued to observe the situation outside. At this time, about half an hour had passed since the end of the world. After the initial chaos, the streets gradually calmed down. This calm means that there are no normal humans on the streets anymore, and the whole world has completely become a paradise for zombies. Lin Mo sighed, sat down against the wall, took out a piece of chocolate from his backpack, and began to replenish his energy. The battle could happen at any time, and he must always be in the best condition. Meanwhile, the woman also sat down, took out some bread and water and began to eat. But after taking 2 bites, she stood up and walked towards Lin Mo. Lin Mo swallowed the chocolate in his mouth and immediately grabbed the machete beside him. Don't be nervous, I mean no harm. The woman walked to a position close to the center line and sat down. My name is Tang Ya, what's yours? Lin Mo slowly let go of the machete. Lin Mo. Lin Mo. Tang Ya repeated softly, and then asked, what did you do before? What about you? Lin Mo asked back. What do you think? Tang Ya asked again. Lin Mo was not interested in guessing the riddle, so he simply stopped talking. Boring. Tang Ya curled her lips and said, have you heard of Dragon Fang? Dragon Fang. Lin Mo was slightly startled and looked at Tang Ya. Is this China's special forces? This time it was Tang Ya's turn to be surprised. You actually know about Longyear. Who are you? Lin Mo's mouth twitched. To be honest, he had never heard of the name Longyear. But he can't help but read a lot of novels. Anything called Dragon Tooth, Wolf Tooth, Dragon Thorn, etc. is basically of this nature. He just said it casually, but he didn't expect that he actually guessed it right. However, if Tang Ya is from Longyear, then her strength makes sense. After all, anyone who can enter such a unit must be at least a soldier king, and would probably be ranked among the best in the whole of China. His decision not to take action before was really wise. Chapter 6, Brushing teeth with purified water is a sin. The two chatted idly. Time slowly passed until evening. What should have been a bustling city with bright lights, colorful scenes and heavy traffic was now completely dark. The outline of the city was looming in the moonlight, like a dying giant beast lying in the darkness, exuding a depressing and cold breath. What are your plans next? Tang Ya spoke again, with a hint of weakness in her voice. Survive. Lin Mo said. Today is the first day of the end of the world. The reason why he was able to stay here safely was because he made a lot of preparations in advance and chose a good stronghold. But as time goes by, the situation will get worse. Especially when the zombies are extremely hungry, they will wander around the city in search of food. By then, there will be no pure land in the city. Any slightest sound, smell, light, could potentially attract hordes of zombies. In this situation, even if he has a system, it is not easy to survive. Live on. Tang Ya glanced at Lin Mo. This was a very simple thing in the past, but now it sounds so precious and rare. I'm going to go upstairs to rest. If you come up, I will treat you as an enemy. Lin Mo glanced at Tang Ya and got up and went upstairs. The financial building has 3 sightseeing floors, and they are currently on the first floor, the 106th floor. Arrived on the 107th floor. He took out a box of thumbtacks and scattered them evenly on the stairs. Then he took out a few mousetraps and placed them around the stairs. Then he walked to the corner farthest from the stairs, took out the sleeping bag from the system space, and lay down in it. Just as he closed his eyes, he opened them again suddenly, then opened the system wall and began searching for the infrared alarm device. Smart infrared detector prop type, priced at 500 points. 360-degree infrared detection device with no blind spots props, priced at 1000 points. Civilian one-line infrared detector daily supplies, priced at 1.10 units. Civilian grid-shaped infrared detector daily supplies, priced at 1.2 units. The prices of props and daily necessities vary greatly. Of course, the same is true in terms of functionality. Prop-type detectors can be directly connected to the system. If there is a problem, the system will directly remind you in the mind, and the functions are more comprehensive and intelligent. As for daily necessities, they are just ordinary detectors. Lin Mo pondered for a moment, spent 1 point, and bought 2 grid-shaped infrared detectors. After the instrument is started, a 10m square infrared grid will be formed. Anything that touches the grid line will trigger the machine's alarm. He turned on 2 of them at the same time, forming a 10m rectangular grid between him and the stairs. This way, if anything approaches, he will have 20 meters to react, which is enough for him. After arranging all this, he closed his eyes with peace of mind. Nothing happened overnight. Lin Mo woke up at dawn the next day. Thanks to the infrared device, he slept soundly that night. He got up, folded up his sleeping bag and infrared device, and carefully picked up and put away the mousetraps and thumbtacks he had set up. Then he went downstairs. As soon as he reached the 106th floor, Tang Ya, who was sleeping against a pillar, suddenly turned over and grabbed the baseball bat beside her. Seeing that it was Lin Mo, Tang Ya slowly relaxed her guard, then stretched lazily with some fatigue. Did you get up so early? It can be seen that she did not sleep well last night. I'm going to go out for a while, you can rest for a while. Lin Mo said and walked towards the exit. Tang Ya was startled. It's so dangerous outside, why are you going out? At this stage, staying here is the wisest choice. Something happened. Lin Mo opened the chain lock on the door, hesitated for a moment, and threw the key to Tang Ya. Take the key, I don't have a spare one. After saying this, he opened the door and went downstairs. Did you specifically tell me that there was no spare key so that I could rest assured? I didn't expect this handsome boy to be so considerate. Tang Ya looked at the door that closed automatically, a smile appeared on her lips, she locked the door, and fell asleep again leaning against the pillar. Last night, not only was Lin Mo on guard against her, she was also on guard against Lin Mo. She really didn't sleep well. Lin Mo's purpose of leaving the sightseeing floor was simple: to kill zombies. His original plan was to stay alive for 3 days, get the 2000 points from survive to improve his strength, and then go out. But Tang Ya's appearance gave him a sense of urgency. With Tang Ya's strength, if she had intended to kill him, he would have probably been dead yesterday. But he could not guarantee that everyone he met was as harmless as Tang Ya. Therefore, he must become stronger as soon as possible. In addition, the task, "Have you killed a zombie today?" requires him to kill at least 1 zombie every day, otherwise points will be deducted. Arrived on the 105th floor. He put away the 60-centimeter machete and replaced it with a mace. This floor was originally an aerial restaurant. All the tables and chairs were placed by the windows, so you can see the city scenery while dining. Of course, the per capita consumption here is also frighteningly high. Lin Mo has never been here before. Walking into the restaurant, it was very quiet. Most of the tables and chairs were still in good order and had not suffered much damage. If nothing unexpected happens, the 2 zombies he killed yesterday should be the staff of this restaurant. The restaurant hadn't opened yet, so there weren't many staff. However, Lin Mo did not let his guard down. Holding a mace, he checked the kitchen, bathroom, and other places one by one. After confirming that there were no zombies, he went to the bathroom again. I turned on the tap and, as expected, the water was out. After everyone becomes zombies, all mechanical equipment will shut down, and power and water outages will become normal. With a thought, he took out toiletries and purified water from the system space and began to wash. If other people saw this scene, they would definitely scold Lin Mo for being a spendthrift. In the Doomsday, drinking water is definitely one of the most precious resources, but he used it to brush his teeth, which is simply a sin. But for Lin Mo, it was just a bottle of purified water. He could buy a lot with 1 point. There was no need to make himself feel bad just to save a little water. After washing up, he went to the kitchen, turned on the gas stove, and started frying steak. What is used here is not natural gas, but bottled liquefied gas, so it is not affected by power outages or water outages. As for the steak, he had purchased it in the supermarket earlier. It's definitely not as good as the top quality Wagyu in the system mall, but since you've already stockpiled it, there is no need to waste points. Soon, the steak began to sizzle and the aroma began to spread. Lin Mo immediately closed the kitchen door to prevent the fragrance from spreading and attracting zombies. In a moment, the steak was cooked. He took out the black pepper juice he had stockpiled and sprinkled it on the food. Lin Mo didn't care and just picked it up with chopsticks and ate it. A big bite of meat is chewed in the mouth, full of fragrance, and an unprecedented sense of satisfaction and happiness fills their heart. Under the current circumstances, there probably aren't many people who can eat steak. Chapter 7, Fighting, using our strengths to attack the enemy's weaknesses. Finish the steak. Lin Mo also put several cans of liquefied gas and gas stoves in the restaurant into the system space. Although this thing can be purchased in the system mall and the price is not high, at this stage, it is better to save points as much as possible. Then, carrying the mace, he continued down the stairs and began to look for his target. He is very clear about his own weight, so he has a clear idea of his goals. It's best to hide from solitary zombies, or zombies gathered in groups of 2 or 3. If there are more than 3, he will definitely hide as far away as possible. 104th floor. It is also a restaurant, but the degree of damage is much more serious than that on the 105th floor, and there are some black bloodstains scattered on the ground. Apparently, someone here survived the initial zombification, but failed to escape the zombie attack. After a thorough search and finding nothing, Lin Mo continued to move forward. 103rd floor. As soon as he pushed open the fire door, he heard some noise inside. His expression slightly stiffened, he slowed down his pace and walked towards the direction where the sound came from. This floor is an office building, and it is full of cubicles. Behind one of the cubicles, a zombie seemed to be lost, wandering around slowly, as if looking for something. But the moment Lin Mo entered the office, the zombie seemed to sense something, turned around suddenly, and rushed towards Lin Mo. Its movements were stiff, but not slow. It made a constant, wheezing sound in its throat, expressing its desire for food. Since you've come to my door, I'll use you to complete today's mission. Lin Mo swung the mace in his hand and rushed forward. The 36-pound mace drew an arc like a full moon in the air, and then fell heavily. Puff! The zombie's head was like an exploding watermelon, instantly shattering into pieces, juice splashing, and slowly falling to the ground. Congratulations to their host, you have completed today's task and received 5 points. It doesn't seem as disgusting as yesterday. Lin Mo looked at the blood on the ground and wiped off the blood splashed on his face with an indifferent expression. But just then, huff huff! A familiar voice came from behind. Lin Mo turned his head to look behind him, and his eyes started twitching wildly. More than 10 zombies rushed in from the direction of the office door. After seeing him, the zombies became instantly excited, just like hungry wolves seeing food. Lin Mo finally understood what the lost zombie he had just killed was looking for. It is looking for its companions. Before he could think about it, the zombies rushed over. Fortunately, the passage between the cubicles was only 1 meter wide, and could only accommodate 2 zombies at most, so he didn't have to face the siege of zombies at the same time. After looking around and seeing that there was no place to hide, he made a quick decision and grabbed several chairs and threw them at the zombies. The chairs were piled together to form a makeshift barrier. Zombies have no intelligence, and the 2 zombies in front were immediately tripped and fell to the ground. The zombies behind continued to move forward and fell to the ground in the crowd. But despite this, they still struggled to crawl towards Lin Mo. The smell of living people has an incomparable attraction to them. Lin Mo took advantage of the situation and stepped forward, flexing his muscles. He swung the mace and smashed it at the nearest zombie. Puff! The zombie's head exploded and it fell to the ground motionless. But at this moment, a zombie next to him suddenly pounced towards him. Lin Mo didn't have time to retract the mace. With a thought, a 60-centimeter short-handled machete appeared in his hand, and he chopped it out with all his strength. Puff! A head flew out. The spurting blood covered Lin Mo's head and face, and some even went into his mouth. But Lin Mo didn't care about these at all. He stepped back quickly, pulled back the mace, and then without thinking, swung it out with a sweeping gesture. Bang! Bang! The zombies that rushed up from both ends were smashed away by him. The spikes on the mace penetrated deeply into the bodies of the two zombies, and their bones were broken and twisted due to the huge impact force. But they seemed unaware, and after landing, they rushed towards Lin Mo again with their twisted bodies. At the same time, the other zombies on the ground also struggled to surround him. Lin Mo's heart suddenly sank slightly. I'm afraid he will die here today. Hey, here? At this moment, a female voice suddenly came from the direction of the office entrance. Tang Ya, wearing a leather jacket and leather pants, with a slender figure, appeared at the door carrying her baseball bat. Hearing the sound, the zombies that rushed towards Lin Mo immediately turned around and rushed towards Tang Ya. Handsome guy, watch out, you can't just rely on brute force to deal with these monsters. Tang Ya said, spreading her long legs and rushing towards the zombies. The moment she approached the zombies, she leaped up, and with her long legs like a whip, she kicked the zombie in front of her away. At the same time, she smashed down with the baseball bat in her hand, directly blowing the head off the second zombie that followed. Just when Lin Mo thought that her attack would end here, she suddenly leaped onto the table next to her, then did a front flip and landed behind several other zombies, swinging the baseball bat in her hand and shooting another one in the head. It was not until this time that the remaining 5 zombies finally turned around and pounced on Tang Ya. Tang Ya kept moving, dodging the zombies' attacks. At the same time, she used the desks in the cubicle to move around, and each time she was able to get behind the zombies and play with them around. After a few turns, the 5 zombies fell one after another under her baseball bat. She clapped her hands and turned to look at Lin Mo. How is it, do you understand? Lin Mo nodded. The zombies' weakness is that their movements are stiff and not flexible enough, but Tang Ya has taken her flexibility to the extreme, a typical example of using one's strengths to attack the enemy's weaknesses, which naturally achieves twice the result with half the effort. At the same time, he also realized that with his 200 points of strength, agility and endurance, he could easily perform Tang Ya's moves, and the reason why he performed worse than Tang Ya was entirely because of his lack of combat skills. This made his desire for skills stronger and stronger. He couldn't help but sigh once again that his decision not to attack Tang Ya yesterday was so damn wise. Otherwise, his body would have been cold by now. Chapter 8, in the Doomsday, eating meat alone is not enough. Let's go, it's safer upstairs. Tang Ya turned around and was about to go upstairs. You go first, I want to try again. Lin Mo walked downstairs. Tang Ya paused and looked at Lin Mo. Have you forgotten that you almost died at the hands of these monsters just now? Of course I haven't forgotten. It's precisely because I don't want to die in their hands that I want to keep trying. Lin Mo went downstairs while speaking. Tang Ya looked at Lin Mo's back and muttered with a complicated expression, this style of behavior feels a bit like that person. But then she shook her head and went upstairs. The reason she went downstairs was that she was curious about what Lin Mo was doing downstairs. Besides, she had just saved Lin Mo once, so she was repaying the favor of Lin Mo for letting her enter the sightseeing floor yesterday. So from now on, whether Lin Mo is dead or alive has nothing to do with her. She had no interest in being a babysitter for a man she had known for less than 24 hours, even though that man was handsome. 102nd floor. It is also an office floor. As soon as Lin Mo came out of the stairwell, he was warmly greeted by the zombies. The 4 zombies gathered here all pounced towards him. Use my strengths to attack the enemy's weaknesses. An 8-character strategy emerged in Lin Mo's mind, and he swung the mace in his hand, directly knocking the zombie in the front away. That zombie crashed into the 2 zombies behind it, and all 3 zombies turned into rolling gourds. Lin Mo took advantage of the situation and stepped forward, using the machete in his hand to behead the only zombie still standing. Then he grabbed the zombie's body and smashed it towards the three heads on the ground. The three zombies had just gotten up when they were knocked to the ground again by the flying body. Lin Mo took a step forward, his muscles flexing, and the mace fell with a whistling sound. Puff! The head of one of the zombies exploded. Amid the splattering blood, Lin Mo's left hand's machete stabbed from top to bottom into the open mouth of another zombie. With a light click sound, the tip of the knife pierced through the back of the zombie's head and stabbed deeply into the floor. But at this moment, the last zombie had already crawled up. It pounced directly, opened its big mouth and bit Lin Mo's neck. Lin Mo had no time to draw his sword or pull back his mace, but this time, he was not panicked at all. He simply let go of both weapons, then bent his legs, half knelt and lay on the ground, allowing the zombie to pounce over his head. Then he quickly turned over, picked up the mace and smashed it hard on the zombie's head. Puff! The sound of watermelon bursting was heard. He knocked out 4 zombies perfectly. It doesn't seem that difficult. Lin Mo showed a smile. In fact, his current physical fitness should not be much worse than Tang Ya's, and it is very likely that he is on par with Tang Ya. What he lacked was the skills and experience to fight the enemy. After all, before the end of the world, he was just an ordinary student and had never even fought. So, after observing Tang Ya's fighting style, he immediately gained some insights and made great progress. With this successful experience, Lin Mo became much bolder. As long as the number of zombies does not exceed 5, he dares to go up and fight one wave. As for those with more than 5 heads, he is not afraid. By setting up a few tripwires and using his speed advantage to escape, it would be easy to scatter the zombies, and then he could defeat them one by one. Congratulations to their host, you have killed 10 zombies cumulatively and received an extra reward of 100 points. Congratulations to their host, you have killed 20 zombies cumulatively and received an extra reward of 100 points. Congratulations to their host, you have killed 30 zombies cumulatively and received an extra reward of 100 points. By noon, Lin Mo had already swept all their way to the 96th floor. At this time, the hunger in his stomach forced him to stop. Check the system panel. Points, 1489. In the morning, he killed a total of 36 zombies and got 180 points. Add the additional 300 points as a reward, the total is 480 points. Such a harvest is considered very rich. After locking the fire door on the 96th floor stairs to prevent the zombies downstairs from running here, he returned to the restaurant on the 105th floor, took out the liquid gas and stove, and started frying steak. While waiting for the steak to be cooked, he took out some vegetables and salad dressing and made a vegetable salad. In the apocalypse, eating only meat is not enough. Balanced nutrition is very important. The salad dressing is ready and the steak is cooked. Then he divided the food into 2 portions and brought them to the 106th floor. Tang Ya was still leaning against the pillar, sipping purified water to help her swallow the bread in her mouth. Lin Mo noticed that the bottle of water in her hand was still the same as yesterday, and the bread was still the same package as yesterday, and there was still a lot of both left. This means that from yesterday till now, Tang Ya has only drunk less than half a bottle of water and eaten half a bag of bread. I didn't expect that you could come back alive. Seeing Lin Mo, Tang Ya started to tease him, but she couldn't continue halfway through her words. She saw the plate of steaming steak in Lin Mo's hand, which was sprinkled with black pepper sauce and was sizzling. Even though Tang Ya had eaten countless delicacies from land and sea before, she couldn't help but swallow hard at this moment. This is for you. Thank you for saving my life. Lin Mo placed a steak and salad at the center line, then took his own portion and retreated to his area. Although he was grateful, he did not let his guard down just because Tang Ya saved him once. Isn't it a bit too extravagant to eat this in this situation? Although Tang Ya said this, she still quickly stood up, walked to the steak, sat down, and grabbed it and started eating. Is it luxurious? Lin Mo didn't think so. After he had finished eating the food stored in the system space, he also planned to try the deep sea caviar, bluefin tuna and other things in the system mall, which were the real top quality ingredients. Anyway, for him, it's just a matter of 1 point. The points he earned this morning were enough for him to eat for several years. How did you get these ingredients? Tang Ya had wolfed down her steak and started eating her salad. When I came up yesterday, I checked the restaurants downstairs and there were basically no ingredients that could be used. Lin Mo still didn't say anything and ate in silence. The restaurants downstairs are all high-end restaurants and they operate a reservation system. Only when guests make reservations will they purchase the corresponding ingredients according to demand. They focus on freshness and delicacy, and of course it is impossible for them to stockpile ingredients. Eat and drink enough. Lin Mo thought about it, took out a bottle of water from his bag and threw it to Tang Ya, then turned and went downstairs. His goal today is 2,000 points. Tang Ya looked at the water thrown by Lin Mo and was a little dazed. This guy, doesn't he realize the importance of resources, or is he too kind to be stupid? Chapter 9 2,000 points, Skill Selection. 96th floor. Lin Mo checked the lock on the fire door and found no signs of it being tampered with. He then continued down and reached the 95th floor. More than a dozen zombies gathered in the office, wandering around aimlessly. At this time, the zombies only had the instinct to eat, but because they were not hungry enough, their level of frenzy was not very high. Lin Mo skillfully set up 2 tripwires, and then made a little noise to attract the zombies. The zombie in front was tripped by the tripwire, and the zombie behind continued to chase, and then was tripped by the second tripwire. More than 10 zombies were divided into 3 small groups in the front and back. Lin Mo quickly retreated to the stairs, using his flexibility to extend the battle line, and then occasionally made a surprise attack and shot someone in the head. In a short while, all those zombies turned into his points. Then, he began to check the rooms on this floor one by one as usual to make sure there were no escapees. When he checked one of the offices, he found that the door was locked from the inside. He was slightly startled and asked, "Is there anyone inside?" After waiting for a moment, there was no response. Just as he was about to kick the door, a trembling voice came from inside. "Yes, someone is there. Come out, it's safe outside." Lin Mo slowly stepped back a few steps, moving away from the door. A few seconds later, there was a sound of the door lock turning. The door was opened a little bit, and a chubby round face leaned forward to take a look out, then let out a scream and quickly locked the door. Lin Mo was stunned for a moment. Is he so scary? But after looking down at himself, he understood. After killing zombies for the whole morning, his body and face were now covered in blood. He looked much scarier than those intact zombies. "Come out, I am a human!" Lin Mo shouted. After a few seconds, the door slowly opened, and a short, fat young man walked out timidly, looking at Lin Mo with fear in his eyes. "This floor is safe. You can choose to stay here or leave," Lin Mo said and continued to check other rooms. After confirming that there were no other zombies on this floor, he continued walking downstairs. Can I follow you?" the fat man asked expectantly. "No," Lin Mo said without hesitation, then paused and said, "In this apocalypse, if you want to survive, you can only rely on yourself." After saying that, he went straight downstairs. It's not that he is cold-blooded, but at this stage, he can only barely protect himself. In this situation, carrying a burden with you is tantamount to seeking death. Therefore, he had done his best by rescuing the fat man. As for asking him to follow, that was impossible, at least he couldn't do that until the fat man showed enough value. 94th floor. 93rd floor. 90th floor. 89th floor. Until the sun was about to set. Finally 2000. Lin Mo looked at the number 2069 on the system panel, a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth, and then he returned to the 106th floor. As expected, the fat man he rescued in the afternoon was also here. Seeing Lin Mo, the fat man immediately stood up and smiled ingratiatingly. Tang Ya, on the other hand, looked at Lin Mo, who had obviously more blood on his body than at noon, and her eyes flashed with some inexplicable meaning. "Can you tell me why you did this?" She could have stayed here safely, but Lin Mo insisted on taking huge risks to kill zombies. She really couldn't understand it. To survive. Lin Mo still gave the same answer. Then, in front of the two of them, he unzipped his backpack, took out a bottle of water and a bread, threw them to the fat man, turned around and walked towards the 107th floor. Tang Ya looked at this scene, her expression changed and she seemed to want to say something but stopped herself. "Don't go upstairs, otherwise I will regard you as my enemy." After stepping onto the stairs, Lin Mo said this as usual, and then quickly disappeared around the corner of the stairs. Tang Ya looked at the stairs, then looked at the fat man who was stuffing bread and water into his mouth, as if thinking about something. 107th floor. After arranging the thumbtacks, mousetraps, infrared detectors, etc., Lin Mo walked to the corner and sat down. His clothes, which were almost soaked with blood, gave off a pungent fishy smell. The dried blood on his face made his skin feel slightly tight. As far as the eye could see, his hands and between his fingernails were covered with dark brown blood scabs. In fact, he could have found a place to clean it all up, but he didn't. On the one hand, he hadn't quite gotten used to the smell of blood yet. On the other hand, all of this constantly reminded him that he was now in the real Doomsday and he could not relax for a moment. With a thought, he took out 2 self-heating rice bowls from the system space. He tore open the package with his blood-stained hands. While waiting for the rice to heat up, he casually opened the system panel and found the skill classification. Basic Boxing Beginner, price, 2,000 points. Basic Knife Skills Beginner, priced at 2,000 points. Basic Swordsmanship Beginner, price, 2,000 points. Basic Mace Technique Beginner, price, 2,000 points. Sonder Basic, price, 2,000 points. Free Fighting Basic, price, 2,000 points. 2,000 points is the starting price for skills, but there are actually quite a lot of types to choose from. Of course, these are all basic skills without specific names. All skills with formal names are expensive. For example, the swordsmanship Lin Mo sword was called Random Cloak Basic. The skill introduction said that after learning this swordsmanship, one could be so strong that even splashing water could not get in. If he could learn this set of sword skills, he would be able to hold out for a while even if besieged by more than 10 zombies. But this set of swordsmanship costs 10,000 points, which is definitely something he can't afford now. Among these most basic skills, Lin Mo's initial idea was to choose Basic Mace Method Beginner's Guide, so that he could maximize the advantages of the mace. But after a day of actual combat, he found that the mace was too restrictive in some situations. Once the mace is restricted, the skill he spent 2,000 points to learn will become useless. Therefore, at this stage, what he needs most is a more comprehensive skill that can be used in most situations. Therefore, he finally set his sights on fighting skills such as Sonder and Free Fighting. But he still needs to think carefully about which one to choose. Chapter 10: The next plan: Getting a gun. In fact, if it is 2,000 points. In addition to these basic fighting skills, Lin Mo has another option: buy a pistol. Type 92 pistol, price, 2,000 points. Type 92 pistol bullet, price, 1 round 1 point. At this stage, if he had a gun, it would greatly enhance his self-protection ability. But after careful consideration, Lin Mo gave up the idea. There are 3 reasons. First, he had originally planned to get a gun after the situation stabilized. If the plan succeeded, he should be able to get a lot of guns and bullets, so there was no need to spend his hard-earned points on buying guns. Second, bullets are consumables and they are not cheap. With his current points, if he bought a gun, he could only buy a maximum of 69 rounds of bullets. He had never touched a gun before, and with his marksmanship, it might take several shots to kill a zombie. In other words, if he uses a gun to kill zombies, he will probably end up spending more points than he earns. Once the bullets are used up and he has no points to buy more, the gun will become a decoration. The third and most important point. The gun is just an external force, but skills can actually improve his combat effectiveness, and it is a permanent improvement. So, after careful consideration, Lin Mo finally spent 2,000 points to purchase Free Fighting Beginner. The reason why he chose free fighting instead of other skills such as boxing, kicking, and Sonder was because of the point he valued most before comprehensiveness. As the name suggests, boxing mainly uses fists. Leg techniques, mainly using the legs. Sonder uses both fists and legs, but it limits the use of knees and elbows. There are also some other basic fighting skills, which have similar drawbacks. Relatively speaking, free fighting may not be the strongest, but it must be the most comprehensive and the most widely applicable. At the same time, it is also the most suitable for Lin Mo's current situation. Congratulations to their host, you have successfully purchased a skill by spending 2,000 points. The moment the system prompt sounded, Lin Mo's score directly became 69. At the same time, a large amount of information about free fighting suddenly emerged in his mind, and the muscles in various parts of his body began to tremble continuously. The whole process lasted about 3 minutes. Then, Lin Mo felt that the information about free fighting techniques was as clear as if it was imprinted in his mind. He stood up and tried to throw some punches and kicks. His fists and feet broke through the air, making a slight whistling sound, showing his extraordinary strength. The most important thing is that he had never practiced boxing or kicking before, but now he felt as if he could do it effortlessly, as if he had practiced it thousands of times and formed muscle memory. This feeling is so great. Now, if I encounter zombies again, I should be able to face them as easily as Tang Ya. Lin Mo smiled, picked up a portion of self-heating rice, and started eating it in big mouthfuls. The one he had was beef with mushrooms. Of course, the taste cannot be compared with freshly fried ones, but in the current environment, being able to eat this is already very good. At the same time, 106th floor. Smelling the fragrance coming from upstairs, Tang Ya couldn't help swallowing her saliva and muttered, "This kid eats and drinks a lot all day long, and he doesn't know how to save money." After she finished speaking, she looked at the fat man not far away who was swallowing his saliva as he smelled the fragrance of the food. Her expression changed slightly and became a little playful. Lin Mo was only half full after eating one portion, so he ate the second portion of Kung Pao chicken and then lay down in his sleeping bag with satisfaction. Then he began to think about his plans for tomorrow. Now, more than 30 hours have passed since the end of the world. At this time, those who should have turned into zombies have already become zombies, and those who were lucky enough to survive have gradually figured out the situation after the initial panic and terror. But at the same time, those who survived had not eaten for more than 30 hours. So what follows should be a bloody elimination period. Among those who survive, a large number will die in the process of searching for food. This will also be a process of survival of the fittest, and some strong people among humans should emerge in this process. Maybe I have to go to the police station or the armed police force as soon as possible. Lin Mo thought to himself. He was not the only one who knew that there were guns in these two places. He must not be the only one who thought of going to these two places to get guns. At first, he wanted to wait until the situation stabilized before going. But if the situation develops as he guessed, then someone might have already set his sights on taking those guns. So, he had to hurry up. Thinking of this, Lin Mo sat up again, took out a map of Mingzhu City from the system space, turned on the flashlight, and began to look at it carefully. The map shows that there are a total of 10 armed police detachments in Mingzhu City. Among them, the third team is closest to the financial building, and the map distance is about 12 kilometers. Lin Mo frowned. Under normal circumstances, this distance is not far and it may take 20 minutes to drive there. But in the end times, it may very well be an insurmountable chasm. The apocalypse happened suddenly, and the streets were littered with car ruins piled up due to collisions. Even if he had a car, it would probably be difficult for him to get through. And there are zombies running rampant. Zombies are very sensitive to sounds and smells. Once he alarms a zombie while moving, he may be greeted by an entire zombie army. So, if you want to get a gun, you must not act rashly. You must make a detailed plan. Lin Mo put away the map and flashlight, checked the layout of the staircase again, and confirmed that there was no problem before going to bed. I don't know how long I slept. A scream woke Lin Mo from his sleep. He suddenly turned over, picked up the mace and flashlight next to the sleeping bag, and looked in the direction where the scream came from. At the stairs, the fat man he rescued today was holding his foot and howling in pain. It looked like he had stepped on a thumbtack or mousetrap that he had placed at the stairs. Chapter 11 Tang Ya, let us form a team. Lin Mo's face was a little gloomy, and he looked down at the digital watch on his wrist. 3:25 a.m. Normally, this is the time when people sleep the deepest. The fat man sneaked upstairs at this time, which obviously had bad intentions. He turned off the infrared alarm, collected the mousetrap scattered on the ground, and slowly walked up to the fat man. I think I warned you not to go upstairs. The fat man looked at the bloody mace in Lin Mo's hand, his round face full of fear. I'm just too hungry, I want to ask you for something to eat. Yes. Lin Mo sneered, how much do you want? The fat man raised a finger. I just want to take a piece of bread, really, just one piece of bread. Do you believe this? Lin Mo looked at him coldly, repeatedly loosening and tightening his hand around the mace. If he hadn't discovered it, the fat man would have taken away his entire backpack. If he was more vicious, he might even kill him. People like this definitely deserve to be put to death. However, looking at the fat man's fear-filled face, he couldn't bring himself to do it for a moment. He can kill zombies without any burden, because zombies are no longer human. But the fat man in front of me is a living person. I really just wanted to take a piece of bread. I was so hungry that I made a mistake. Brother, I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. As if sensing Lin Mo's murderous intent, the fat man suddenly knelt down, crying and begging for mercy. Brother, please, please forgive me this time, I promise I will never. Bang! A muffled sound interrupted the fat man's words. The mace fell rapidly and hit the fat man hard on the back of his head. The fat man's body shook, and he fell straight to the ground, completely dead. Lin Mo subconsciously looked away, but the next second, he quickly looked back and stared at the fat man's body. His stomach began to churn again. This was the first person he killed. It's a completely different feeling from killing zombies. Killing zombies is more of a physical discomfort, but killing people is more of a psychological discomfort. Whether before or after the time travel, the education he received told him that killing is against the law. But his behavior just now directly shattered the worldview of his two previous lives. This strong psychological impact was really hard for him to accept for a while. Lin Mo, it's the end of the world. The end of the world has its own rules. You have to accept them and adapt to them. Lin Mo muttered to himself, took a deep breath, and the discomfort in his heart gradually dissipated. He then stepped forward and turned over the fat man's palm. In his palm was a paper cutter commonly used in offices. Just now, it was because he saw the fat man putting his hand into his clothes that he suddenly took ruthless action. And the facts have proved that his decision was correct, otherwise what would have been waiting for him would have been the fat man's attack. Clatter! Clatter! The sound of gentle footsteps was heard. Tang Ya's figure slowly appeared at the stairs. Seeing the fat man's body, she didn't seem surprised at all, and looked at Lin Mo dimly. When you gave him bread and water, you deliberately opened the backpack in front of him, right? Lin Mo looked at her and said nothing. Tang Ya continued, and the self-heating rice in the evening, you deliberately ate it upstairs just to let the smell spread down, and your series of actions were just to test this fat man. Or to be more precise, to test the fat man and me, right? Lin Mo said calmly, it seems that my temptation is useless to you. The fact is just as Tang Ya said, his actions were just for testing. Otherwise, how could he be so stupid as to open his backpack in front of the two of them and eat self-heating rice ostentatiously? He still understood the principle of not showing off one's wealth. But unexpectedly, Tang Ya saw through it all. What about the steak for lunch? Is it also a test? Tang Ya asked. Lin Mo shook his head, maybe you don't believe it, but it's really for gratitude. Tang Ya smiled, let's team up. You are smart and you should understand that in this situation, going it alone is not a long-term solution. Okay. Lin Mo thought about it and agreed. In fact, even if Tang Ya didn't say it, he was planning to invite Tang Ya to join a team. The plan to get guns from the third team would have a much higher chance of success if Tang Ya was there. Since you agree, I'll be frank with you. Tang Ya looked at Lin Mo, although we are a team, I will not share supplies with you until I can fully trust you. I understand. Lin Mo thought of Tang Ya's professional mountaineering bag. If there were only daily necessities in there, and Tang Ya was a little more frugal, she should have no problem lasting 2 months. In comparison, his backpack looked a little pitiful. Also, if you are in danger, I will do my best to protect you, provided that I am safe. But if it endangers myself, I will abandon you without hesitation. Tang Ya said frankly, of course, this is before I can fully trust you. If you can make me fully trust you, then even if I risk my own life, I will prioritize your safety. I agree. Lin Mo admired Tang Ya's style of speaking up front. That's it for now. If I think of anything else, I'll add to it at any time. Tang Ya turned around and walked towards where she was sleeping. Also, for the sake of your teammates, let me remind you that those monsters outside seem to be very sensitive to the smell of blood. You'd better deal with that fat guy. Lin Mo smiled. He would have handled it even if Tang Ya hadn't said it. But having such a teammate seems to be pretty good. Chapter 12 Huge Progress, Tang Ya is shocked. Early the next morning, Lin Mo woke up at daybreak. When we arrived at the 106th floor, Tang Ya had already gotten up and was standing in front of the viewing telescope observing the situation below. Hearing Lin Mo's footsteps, she didn't look back and said directly, the situation outside is a little bad. Lin Mo quickly walked to another viewing telescope, looked down, and then frowned. The streets that seemed a little empty yesterday now had a few more zombies wandering around. Obviously, after 2 days of chaos, these zombies felt hungry and started to come out to look for food. If these monsters start to move, this place will not be so safe. Tang Ya chewed the bread in small bites and looked at Lin Mo. What are your plans next? Lin Mo did not hide it. I want to go to the third team. You want to get a gun? Tang Ya instantly understood Lin Mo's intention, but the third team is about 10 kilometers away from here, and it's not easy to walk this way. It's indeed not easy to walk on, but if I want to survive in this doomsday, I have to take this road. Lin Mo's eyes were firm. If he could get a gun and bullets, he could quickly accumulate a large number of points and establish a huge early advantage. In that way, a solid foundation can be laid for subsequent survival. Therefore, whether from the current or long-term considerations, he must go to this third team. Tang Ya looked at him. When do you plan to leave? Now. Lin Mo took out a map from his backpack system space and handed it to Tang Ya. This is the route I designed last night, take a look. There's even a map. Tang Ya looked at Lin Mo in surprise, then lowered her head to look at the map. Are you planning to drive to this route you've planned? Lin Mo nodded. What if the road is blocked? Tang Ya asked. Try to move forward. If you can't move forward, abandon the car. Lin Mo had thought about this a long time ago. He was determined to get the gun no matter what. Then let's go. Tang Ya carried her backpack and walked out. There should be quite a few cars in the underground garage for us to choose from. Lin Mo followed with a backpack on his back and a mace in his hand. He has never put his mace away since Tang Ya saw it downstairs yesterday. Otherwise, if Tang Ya asked again, he would not be able to explain. Go down the stairs. After easily taking care of a few lone zombies, it took the two about 20 minutes to reach the underground parking lot. You're in good physical condition. Tang Ya glanced at Lin Mo. Lin Mo walked down more than 100 floors without sweating, and his breathing was very steady. It's okay. I used to work out regularly. Lin Mo lied. At the same time, he was secretly thankful that the strengthening potion had greatly improved his physical condition, otherwise, just climbing these more than 100 floors would have been enough to tire him out. Be alert, there may be those monsters here. Tang Ya walked in front, holding her baseball bat tightly. I think you can call them zombies. Lin Mo held the mace and looked around. There are quite a few cars parked in this basement, and most of them are luxury cars. Zombies? This name is quite descriptive. Is this the name you gave them? Tang Ya stopped in front of a Land Rover Discovery 4. I guess so. Lin Mo nodded. There are no zombie movies in this world, and there is nothing wrong with him admitting this. Tang Ya looked at Lin Mo. If you want to start this car, it will definitely trigger the alarm. Next, I need 2 minutes. Can you do that? Lin Mo took a deep breath. Let's get started. Zombies are extremely sensitive to sound. Once the alarm sounds, a large number of zombies will probably swarm in. But at this time, he had no choice. Next second. Bang! Tang Ya smashed the glass of the driver's seat with a stick, then opened the door and jumped in. Ding ding! Ding ding! A shrill alarm sounded immediately. Along with it, the lights of Discovery 4 kept flashing. The flickering light added a bit of eerie atmosphere to the slightly dim basement. At the same time, huff huff. A familiar sound of heavy breathing came from the left. Lin Mo turned his head and saw 3 zombies in security uniforms rushing towards him stiffly and quickly. Those eyes with large whites rolled up looked particularly creepy under the flickering car lights. Before he could react, the same heavy breathing sounds were heard from the right, and there were even more of them, more than a dozen in total. Lin Mo's eyes twitched, and he made a prompt decision, picked up the mace and rushed to the left. Bang! The moment he got close, the mace swept out and directly knocked all 3 zombies away. Lin Mo took a step forward and followed closely behind. While the zombies were still unstable, he smashed down with his mace, directly blowing the nearest one in the head. Congratulations to their host, you have completed today's task and received 5 points. The system prompt sounded in time, but Lin Mo seemed not to hear it. He swung the mace continuously and shot the other 2 zombies in the head. In Discovery 4, Tang Ya saw this scene as soon as she opened the junction box, and a hint of surprise flashed in her eyes. Lin Mo's movements just now were done in one go and were extremely coherent, forming a sharp contrast with his clumsiness yesterday. If Lin Mo had such strength yesterday, she wouldn't have needed to take action at all. She was a little puzzled. How could Lin Mo make such great progress overnight? But at this moment, she didn't have time to think about it and immediately lowered her head to connect the phone. After dealing with the 3 zombies on the left, Lin Mo turned around and rushed to the right without any pause. He could already hear footsteps and crashes coming from the direction of the stairs. The car alarm not only alarmed the zombies in the basement, but also the zombies upstairs, who were heading towards the sound. If they don't leave quickly, they will soon be surrounded by the zombie army. You have to hurry, there are more zombies coming. Lin Mo growled and swept the ground with his mace. The 2 zombies rushing in the front had their leg bones broken and fell to the ground. The 2 following closely behind were also tripped by the 2 4-on-1s. The 5 or 6 zombies at the back stepped on the ones in front and rushed towards Lin Mo. Lin Mo stepped back and swept the mace again, knocking the 2 zombies in the front away again. But at the same time, the 3 zombies at the back all pounced towards Lin Morphe. Chapter 13. Today's Lin Mo is no longer the Lin Mo of yesterday. 3 zombies pounced towards them simultaneously. If it was yesterday, Lin Mo would probably be dead if he encountered such a situation. But today's Lin Mo is no longer the Lin Mo of yesterday. The various techniques of free fighting naturally emerge in the mind, and the body that has formed muscle memory reacts at the same time. He bent his legs slightly, jumped up, and kicked forward with both feet at the same time, causing 2 of the 3 zombies to fly backwards. The remaining one successfully pounced in front of Lin Mo, but just as it opened its mouth to bite, Lin Mo grabbed both sides of its head and twisted its neck. Throwing the zombie aside, Lin Mo quickly stepped forward with a mace and blew their heads off all the zombies on the ground. Congratulations to their host, you have killed 80 zombies cumulatively and received an extra reward of 100 points. Looking at the bloody corpses on the ground, Lin Mo couldn't help but reveal a smile. In less than 2 minutes, all 13 zombies turned into his points. This would have been almost unthinkable yesterday. But today, he did it easily. This is the huge improvement brought by Free Fighting Basic. However, he didn't feel happy for long. A wheezing sound came from the direction of the stairs. A large group of zombies poured out from the stairs and rushed towards him. Buzz. At this moment, the roar of the engine sounded in time. Get in the car. Following Tang Ya's voice, Car 4 suddenly rushed out of the parking space, skidded and stopped beside him. Lin Mo jumped into the passenger seat without hesitation, but before he could close the door, the car shot out with a violent roar. The zombies that were rushing over began to chase like crazy, but their speed was far slower than that of the car. Buzz. Discovery 4 roared, broke the horizontal bar of the gate in a low-flying posture, and rushed out of the basement. When the zombies wandering on the road heard the sound, they immediately ran towards this direction at high speed. Show their way. Tang Ya shouted in a low voice, and rushed towards the road by stepping on the accelerator. Turn right ahead and walk on the sidewalk. Lin Mo had already memoized the planned route. The apocalypse happened suddenly. The motor vehicle lanes were filled with vehicles, but the sidewalks were barely passable. Next second. Bang, bang, bang. There were bursts of collision sounds. Discovery 4 encountered the oncoming zombies head-on. Some zombies were knocked away, while others were crushed under the car. Lin Mo could clearly hear the sound of wheels crushing the zombies' bones. But the other zombies still rushed towards the car madly, waving their arms and trying to climb onto the car. Fortunately, I found that the horsepower of 4 was strong enough, so I pushed the zombies away, did a tailspin, and rushed onto the road. Call. Looking at the zombies that were thrown away, Lin Mo let out a long breath and loosened the mace in his hand. Tang Ya glanced at him and said, "You'd better think clearly. If the car can't pass, how should we go? Otherwise, if we encounter the situation just now again, I won't be able to protect you without a car. We'll talk about it when the time comes." Lin Mo noticed that Tang Ya said, "I can't protect him." In other words, if she encountered a situation like the previous one, even without a car, Tang Ya could at least protect herself, which forced him to re-evaluate Tang Ya's strength. The car sped along the route planned by Lin Mo. There were zombies chasing them on the road, but they were all left far behind. However, when there were about 3 kilometers left to the third team, the car had to stop. They had tried several different routes, but all were blocked and cars couldn't get through. What should we do now? Tang Ya looked at Lin Mo, then turned her head and looked behind her. There, the zombies attracted by the sound of the car engine were rushing towards them quickly. Judging from the number, there are at least several hundred of them. Abandon the car and run. Lin Mo made a prompt decision, jumped out of the car with a mace in hand, and started running wildly. The 3-kilometer distance can be reached in just over 10 minutes of running. As long as they run fast enough, they can leave the zombies behind them behind. Tang Ya didn't say anything and followed with her backpack. The streets are full of cars. Although it prevented Lin Mo and his team's car from passing, it also formed a natural obstacle, hindering the zombies' movements. After all, zombies are much less flexible than humans. But after running a short distance, Lin Mo's expression suddenly froze slightly. There were more than a dozen zombies wandering on the road ahead of them. If they were held back by these dozen zombies and the group of zombies behind them caught up with them, they would surely be dead. How many can you deal with? Tang Ya's voice sounded beside him. Leave the left to you, I'll handle the right. Lin Mo quickly analyzed the situation ahead. There are a total of 12 zombies in front, 6 on the left and 6 on the right, exactly half and half. Okay. We only have about 40 seconds. Tang Ya suddenly accelerated and rushed towards the zombies on the left. Lin Mo took a deep breath and rushed towards the 6 zombies on the right. At this time, the zombies in front also heard the footsteps of the two and began to rush towards them. Whoosh bang! The moment he approached the zombies, Lin Mo swung his mace, which fell with a clear sound of breaking wind, and directly smashed the head of the front zombie into its stomach. At the same time, he bent his legs and jumped onto the roof of a car nearby, avoiding the pounce of the other 2 zombies. Then he jumped from the other side of the car, quickly went behind the other 3 zombies, and swept out with his mace whistling. Bang! The 3 zombies flew out simultaneously, crashed into the car next to them, staggered to the ground, and became a mess. Lin Mo took the opportunity to step forward and smash 2 of them with the mace, blowing their heads off. Just when he wanted to press on and take down the third one, the 2 zombies that had missed him before jumped towards him from the top of the car next to him, like a mountain falling down on his head. Chapter 14 Plans hindered. There was a dark shadow above my head and a strong wind blew at the same time. The subconscious reaction brought about by free fighting made Lin Mo not even look up, and he flew forward without hesitation. After landing, he rolled forward and stood up, then turned around and looked behind him. Until this moment, the 2 flying zombies had just landed and hit the zombie that Lin Mo had not had time to deal with. The 3 zombies suddenly became a mess. Seeing this, Lin Mo pulled out a short-handled machete from the backpack system space behind him, rushed forward and started slashing wildly. Before the 3 zombies could even get up, their heads and bodies were separated and they fell to the ground. Lin Mo panted and glanced at the watch on his hand. About 35 seconds have passed since the start of the battle, which is 5 seconds earlier than the 40 seconds Tang Ya expected. He turned his head to look at Tang Ya and found that Tang Ya had also finished the fight. She was leaning on a baseball bat, looking at him with a complicated expression. Lin Mo knew why Tang Ya looked like that. Because the contrast between him yesterday and today is so huge. But at this time, he really didn't care what Tang Ya was thinking. He turned his head to look behind him, then picked up the mace on the ground and started running. The large group of zombies behind them was less than 50 meters away from them. Tang Ya quickly followed and said, "We have to find a way to get rid of these zombies behind us. If they let these zombies follow them to the third team, it would be hard to say whether they could survive, let alone rob. There is a shopping mall about a kilometer ahead. We can go through there," Lin Mo said without slowing down at all. Tang Ya glanced at him and said, "Have you thought of this situation a long time ago?" Lin Mo said nothing and continued running. Tang Ya smiled and said, "I'm beginning to trust you a little bit now. Before setting off, you can think about the possibility of being surrounded by zombies and think of a plan to escape in advance." Even though she was from Longyear, she had to admit that Lin Mo, this temporary teammate, was quite reliable. "It's not too late to say this after we really get rid of the zombies." Lin Mo frowned slightly as he spoke. A 36-pound mace is not a big deal under normal circumstances, but it will seem a bit heavy when running long distances. In less than 5 minutes, the two arrived at the shopping mall that Lin Mo mentioned. This is a high-rise building with more than 30 floors. There were several zombies at the door, which were easily dealt with by the two men. Do you think there will be a lot of zombies in here? Tang Ya asked this question before rushing into the building. Then it depends on our luck. Lin Mo rushed in first without any pause. Tang Ya swung the baseball bat in her hand and followed closely. The moment he entered the mall, Lin Mo jumped up and pulled down the roller shutter at the main entrance. This rolling door was originally electric, but now there is no electricity, so I can only rely on brute force. Fortunately, Lin Mo is strong enough now. Lin Mo, our luck doesn't seem to be very good. At this time, Tang Ya's voice sounded with a hint of solemnity. Lin Mo understood what Tang Ya meant. The moment he rushed into the mall, he saw that there were at least 50 zombies on the first floor of the mall. There are also some zombies wandering around in the second and third floors, and judging by the clothes, they are all salespeople in the mall. Moreover, the faces of some of the zombies had been bitten into pieces and were covered in blood. He probably escaped the zombification at the beginning of the apocalypse, but he couldn't escape the attacks of other zombies. At this time, because they heard the sound of him closing the rolling door, the zombies began to rush towards them. Go upstairs! Lin Mo shouted in a low voice and rushed to the escalator first. Compared to the first floor, there are obviously fewer zombies on the second and third floors. And almost at the same time he rushed out. Crash! The rolling door at the main gate made a loud noise and shook violently. The group of zombies outside also chased after them. This is going to be fun. Tang Ya muttered and followed Lin Mo. The two were extremely fast. It was not until they rushed to the second floor that the zombies on the first floor just reached the entrance of the escalator. And because of the crowding and lack of flexibility, the zombies in the front row all fell on the escalator, causing the zombies there to pile up in a ball and create chaos. Lin Mo walked very fast and rushed to the fifth floor before stopping. At this time, the rolling door at the entrance of the mall finally couldn't bear the weight and was knocked open by the zombies. A large number of zombies poured into the mall like a tide. Looking down from the upper floor, the entire floor was densely packed with zombies, which made people's scalp tingle. If we can't run away, we'll both be fed to the zombies. Tang Ya stopped beside Lin Mo with a serious expression. We're not feeding zombies together, we're becoming zombies together. Lin Mo said, and continued to walk upstairs slowly. Several zombies rushed towards him along the way, and he easily dealt with them all. Now, he feels basically no pressure when facing this kind of lone zombie. Then he took a look at the system panel. Points, 359. Along the way, he had earned more than 300 points without realizing it. Seeing how leisurely you are, have you thought of a way to get rid of these zombies? Tang Ya caught up and walked side by side with Lin Mo. There is a way, but we won't know if we can get rid of the zombies until we try. As they were talking, they reached the 10th floor. At this time, the zombies in the lobby on the first floor had already rushed to the second floor along the escalator. Just because they had completely lost their IQ, they were all wandering around blindly on the second floor and couldn't find the escalator to the third floor for a while. Lin Mo frowned. He had never expected this situation. According to his original plan, he wanted to lure all the zombies upstairs, and then he and Tang Ya would quickly go downstairs to get rid of the zombies. But in this situation, his original plan seemed to be impractical. Chapter 15: Good News and Bad News. I have to go down there. After a little hesitation, Lin Mo made a decision. He planned to use himself as bait and lead the zombies upstairs. A large number of zombies gathered here, causing a lot of noise, which would attract more zombies. If they don't resolve this issue quickly, it will be really difficult for them to get out. Go down. Tang Ya was slightly stunned. Lin Mo took out a bundle of ropes from his backpack system space and handed it to Tang Ya. Tie the ropes, we will descend from the 10th floor later. Tang Ya finally understood Lin Mo's intention. Are you sure you want to do this? This is very dangerous. There are a lot of scattered zombies on the lower floors. Once Lin Mo is delayed, he may be surrounded by the zombie army, and he will almost certainly die. It's very dangerous, but we have no other choice. Lin Mo said, hesitated for a moment, then put down the mace and walked downstairs with only the short-handled machete. Tang Ya looked at Lin Mo's back and wanted to speak, but after hesitating for a moment, she said nothing. Lin Mo went down all the way, and after dealing with 7 or 8 scattered zombies, he successfully reached the 3rd floor. At the same time, congratulations to their host, You have killed 100 zombies cumulatively and received an extra reward of 1,000 points. 1,000. Lin Mo's eyes lit up slightly, and he immediately looked at the system panel. Points, 1399. A smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. This extra reward from the system was much more generous than he had expected. Then, he took a deep breath and continued down the escalator to the second floor. He didn't have to do anything. After seeing him, a large number of wandering zombies immediately rushed towards him frantically. Lin Mo's eyes narrowed slightly, and he immediately turned around and went upstairs. But unlike his previous runs, this time he stopped after reaching the third floor. He waited for the zombies to come up the escalator before he turned around and ran. Although zombies are not flexible enough, they run quite fast on flat ground. After they went upstairs, they began to chase madly, and the distance between them and Lin Mo was only 3 or 5 meters. Tang Ya upstairs saw this scene and couldn't help but break into a cold sweat for Lin Mo. In this situation, if Lin Mo makes any mistake, he will be attacked by a swarm of zombies. Almost at the same time as she had this thought, one of the zombies chasing Lin Mo from behind suddenly jumped out and stretched out its arms to grab Lin Mo. Be careful, Tang Ya subconsciously reminded. At the same time, Lin Mo also sensed the strong wind coming from behind, and suddenly changed direction on the spot, rushing to the front right. Bang! To his left, a zombie fell heavily to the ground. The corner of Lin Mo's eyes twitched. If he hadn't changed direction in time, the zombie would have fallen directly on him. Fortunately, at this time, the escalator to the fourth floor arrived. Lin Mo rushed up to the fourth floor in 2 steps. The zombies were crowding and trampling at the escalator entrance, giving Lin Mo some time to catch his breath. Next, Lin Mo did the same thing and brought the zombies to the 9th floor without any danger, and then he quickly rushed to the 10th floor. Looking at the zombies circling on the 9th floor, he breathed a sigh of relief and looked at Tang Ya. Let's go, rappelling should not be difficult for you. Do you want to take a break? Tang Ya asked. The series of operations just now consumed a lot of physical energy. Lin Mo shook his head, no need. If we delay any further, new developments are likely to occur. Immediately, the 2 men began to rappel along the tied rope, one in front and one behind. Tang Ya is very skilled in this move and the descending movement is very smooth. But Lin Mo seemed rather clumsy. After all, this was the first time in his life to rappel. But he has twice the strength of an ordinary person, so it's not a big problem. Soon, they both landed safely. Tang Ya looked at the large group of zombies running around on the 9th floor like headless flies, and couldn't help but look at Lin Mo. You seem to know these zombies very well. If you observe carefully, you will quickly understand them. Lin Mo said casually, then quickly rushed out from the rolling door that was pushed down by the zombies. Because of the previous noise, the zombies nearby were attracted into the mall. So it's actually safer outside now. Is that really the case? Tang Ya muttered to herself and quickly chased after him. This time, there were no more major obstacles. After dealing with some scattered zombies, the 2 took more than 10 minutes to successfully reach the gate of the 3rd team. Just looking at the scene inside the gate, Lin Mo's stomach couldn't help but start to churn. The broken corpse, scattered internal organs, splattered flesh, and solidified dark brown blood almost covered the entire yard. Swarms of flies were flying around the corpses and flesh, making a buzzing sound. The strong smell of blood pierced the nasal cavity along with the flow of air, making it almost impossible to breathe. Vomit. Lin Mo couldn't help it and rushed to the side and vomited violently. After fighting zombies for the past 2 days, he thought he had adapted to the bloody scenes of the apocalypse. But now he realized that he was too naive. What he adapted to were just the most basic pediatrics. Although Tang Ya didn't vomit, her face looked a little ugly. Even for her, it was difficult for her to adapt to such a scene for a while. It was just her strong self-control thanks to training that prevented her from vomiting. However, looking at Lin Mo who was vomiting violently, an idea popped up in her mind. Lin Mo like this was like an ordinary person. Lin Mo's previous behavior made it difficult for her to associate him with ordinary people. 2 minutes later, Lin Mo, with a pale face, returned to the gate again and began to observe the corpses carefully. Although many of the corpses were already in pieces, it was still clear that these zombies were shot to death with guns. This is both good news and bad news for them. The good news is, someone from the 3rd team survived. The bad news is, killing so many zombies by strafing will consume a lot of ammunition. The armed police force's conventional ammunition reserves are limited. After such a huge consumption, even if the 3rd detachment still has ammunition, there probably won't be much left. Let's go. Lin Mo called Tang Ya and walked into the yard together. No matter what, now that I'm here, I must go in and take a look. Chapter 16: The Irreversible Law. Enter the yard. The soles of the shoes inevitably stepped on the flesh and blood. The sticky and squishy touch made Lin Mo's stomach churn again. Fortunately, he had already vomited everything out before, so he could barely bear it now. Tang Ya looked at Lin Mo like this, and a hint of surprise appeared in her eyes. Lin Mo's adaptability is really strong. Walk through the yard. In front is an administrative building more than 10 stories high. However, the entrance door had been sealed from the inside. This means that someone survived inside. Lin Mo gave Tang Ya a look, signaling her to be careful, and then asked softly, "Is there anyone inside?" After waiting for more than 10 seconds, there was no response. Just as he was about to break the door, a vigilant voice came from inside. "Who are you? What do you want to do here? Survivors like you come here to find weapons." Lin Mo told the truth. The voice inside refused without hesitation. "We can't give you our weapons. Go away. How about you let us in and talk? You know, it's very dangerous outside now. We found this place with great difficulty." Lin Mo did not give up just because the other party refused. In the current situation, even if we have an army, we cannot say that we have enough weapons. So, the other party's reaction is normal. There's nothing to talk about. Let's go. If you attract those monsters outside, I will kill you too, said the voice inside coldly. Tang Ya stepped forward and asked, "Are you worthy of your military status and duties by doing this? Identity and responsibilities." The voice of the person inside was somewhat sad. "Don't you think it's ridiculous to say these things at this time?" Tang Ya wanted to say something, but was stopped by Lin Mo. He said sincerely, "You also said it, it's already this time. Even if we leave, how long can you hold on? No matter how many bullets you have, there will always be a time when you run out of bullets. No matter how much food there is, it will eventually run out. What will you do then? Can you continue to hide?" The man inside was silent for a moment. "That's a matter for the future. At least for now, we can survive." Seeing the other party's firm attitude, Lin Mo knew it was pointless to continue talking. He thought for a moment and said, "What if I exchange supplies with you? You should have urgently needed supplies, right?" When Tang Ya heard this, she immediately looked at Lin Mo. In the current situation, the importance of supplies may not be less than that of guns. Lin Mo shook his head and signaled Tang Ya to stay calm. "Really?" This time, the man inside showed a noticeable change in attitude. "What supplies do you have? What do you need?" Lin Mo asked instead of answering. "Medical supplies, and food and water." Lin Mo's expression changed slightly. "Are any of you injured? Anyone injured by zombies, even if they only have a slight skin scratch, will turn into a zombie. This is an almost irreversible law. The injury is not serious, just a minor one. Don't even think about asking for a high price." The people inside thought that Lin Mo wanted to bargain with him. Lin Mo didn't care about these and said quickly, "Listen, the injured are very dangerous. They will turn into zombies in a period of time. If you don't want to die, tie up the injured immediately, quickly. In fact, the best way to deal with it is to kill it directly." But Lin Mo knew that it would be almost impossible for him to ask the other party to kill his comrades without seeing them turn into zombies with his own eyes, so he could only tie them up first. "Why should I believe you?" The person inside obviously didn't believe it. "Do you think there's any benefit in me lying to you?" Lin Mo said anxiously, "Hurry up, or it will be too late." Almost at the same time Lin Mo finished speaking. Suddenly, a panicked voice came from inside. "Captain, come and see, Shuchong seems to be a little bit abnormal. Captain, something is wrong with Wang Chao as well." Then there was a burst of hurried running sounds, mixed with the sound of some objects colliding. "How do you know that if you get hurt by a zombie you will turn into a zombie?" Tang Ya looked at Lin Mo and asked in a low voice. She felt that Lin Mo knew a lot about zombies. And this wasn't the first time she had felt this way. "I saw it with my own eyes." Lin Mo made up a lie. "When you saw me yesterday, the 2 zombies I killed at the door came from this place." Tang Ya was skeptical, but said nothing more. At this moment, a series of chaotic noises suddenly came from the administrative building. Xu Qiang, what are you doing? I'm Li Fei. Xu Qiang, you are crazy. Wang Chao, look carefully, I am Liu Dalong. Captain, they seem to have turned into that kind of monster, what should we do? Captain, please think of a solution quickly, Captain. Bang! Bang, bang. After a few gunshots, everything fell silent. Lin Mo sighed silently and immediately looked outside the yard vigilantly. The gunshots just now are likely to attract zombies from the surrounding area. Really? In less than half a minute, he saw dozens of zombies appear at the intersection, walking quickly towards here. And if nothing unexpected happens, these are just the vanguard, and there will definitely be more zombies coming later. What should we do now? Tang Ya also saw the zombies. Lin Mo frowned, looked at the silent administrative building, and then shook his head helplessly. Let's go. Sound travels 360 degrees. In addition to what they saw, there must be zombies coming from other directions. Once the zombies form an encirclement, they will have no way to escape. And just at this moment. Wait. I'll open the door, come in. The voice in the administration building sounded again. Lin Mo recognized that this was the captain's voice. Then, the door was opened from the inside until there was a gap just wide enough for one person to pass through. A middle-aged man in military uniform, with a resolute expression but blood on his face, appeared in front of the gap. After looking outside and confirming that only Lin Mo and the other person were outside, he nodded to them and made way. Lin Mo took a step forward and was about to go in. But Tang Ya grabbed him and walked in front. Are you afraid that there is an ambush inside and I won't have time to react? Lin Mo thought to himself and followed Tang Ya in. Crash! As soon as they entered, the door was closed. There is a hole after entering the door, but because the door is sealed, the light inside is a little dim. Lin Mo took a moment to adjust himself before he could see clearly what was going on inside. Opposite them, 8 fully armed soldiers were scattered around, with the black muzzles of their guns pointing straight at them. If they make any unusual movement, they will be greeted with a round of concentrated fire. I'm the captain here, Li Jianmen. The middle-aged man with a square face walked up to the two of them. However, his eyes fell directly on Lin Mo. Now, we can talk about our deal. Chapter 17 Bargaining. Before discussing the deal, I want to confirm whether anyone of you was injured in the chaos just now. Lin Mo asked. Li Jianmen's eyes showed a trace of pain. He was silent for a moment and said, we have already dealt with it. Lin Mo didn't ask how the other party handled it. After what happened just now, as long as Li Jianmen is not stupid, he will know what the right thing to do is. He got to the point. What supplies do you need? Food and water, said Li Jianmen. This is fine. Lin Mo pretended to hesitate for a moment and agreed. Although these things are considered daily necessities in the system, he can buy a bunch of them with 1 point. But now is the end of the world. If he agrees too readily, it will make the other party suspicious. Then tell me the price. Li Jianmen asked, how much can you offer in exchange? Tell me first, what weapons can you give us? Lin Mo asked back. Rifles, submachine guns, pistols, sniper rifles, I have them all here. What do you want? Said Li Jianmen. Where are the bullets? Lin Mo asked. The number of guns equipped by the 3rd detachment is sufficient to equip the entire detachment. Now that most people have turned into zombies, there must be a large overflow of guns. But without bullets, no matter how many guns you have, they are just decorations. Li Jianmen's expression paused slightly. This question hit the sore spot for him. He hesitated for a moment and said, let me be frank. 700 rounds of pistol bullets, more than 2,300 rounds of rifle bullets, more than 1,200 rounds of submachine gun bullets, 220 rounds of sniper rifle bullets, and 8 grenades. These are all the ammunition we can take out. Lin Mo frowned. This number was much less than he expected. A armed police detachment on Blue Star has a full staff of about 400 people, and the total number of various types of ammunition it is equipped with should be around 48,000 rounds. But what Li Jianmen said now, added together, is less than 1/10 of the total. Or maybe they had consumed too much ammunition in the previous battle. Or maybe Li Jianmen was lying. But there's no point worrying about this now. He looked at Li Jianmen and asked, How many of these bullets do you plan to exchange? At most 1/10. Li Jianmen said. Lin Mo shook his head, too little. No more. Li Jianmen said, you can see that I still have so many people here. If we don't have enough bullets, it will be difficult for us to protect ourselves. How about 1/5? Lin Mo said, you also said that you have so many people here, 1/10 can't exchange for too many supplies. Li Jianmen hesitated for a moment, then gritted his teeth and said, okay, 1/5 is 1/5, but I want 500 bottles of 500 milliliters water and 500 kilograms of various foods suitable for long-term storage. You're asking for too much. Tang Ya, who had been silent, stood up. 2/5 of the bullets are less than 1,000 rounds. But the supplies Li Jianmen wanted totaled 1,000 kilograms, and the food had to be suitable for storage. This is outrageous. Then how much do you think is appropriate? Li Jianmen asked calmly. Obviously, he also knew that he was asking for an exorbitant price, so he was waiting for Lin Mo to pay him back. 350 bottles of water, and 350 kilograms of ready-to-eat food. Lin Mo carefully stated a price. Lin Mo. Tang Ya subconsciously wanted to stop him. This amount of food and water would be enough for the two of them for at least half a year if they were a little more frugal. At this price, they still suffer a great loss. It's okay, I know what to do. Lin Mo shook his head at Tang Ya. He also knew that the price was a disadvantage. But if he wasn't worried about arousing suspicion, he would actually want to give more. First of all, these things are really worthless to him. What he just said can't even be used up for a single point. Secondly, people like Li Jianmen were willing to make sacrifices in peacetime. Now that it is Doomsday, he happens to be capable, so naturally he should be given some care. He looked at Li Jianmen, is this price okay? Sure. Li Jianmen agreed readily. This price was much higher than he expected. But I have a condition. Lin Mo said, I only need so many bullets, but you must give me more firearms of all kinds. Also, you should have bulletproof vests, shields, riot batons and other things. I want some of those, too. Also, I want 2 grenades. Li Jianmen thought for a moment and said, I can give you guns, bulletproof vests and other things, but 2 grenades and 50 more bottles of water. Deal. Lin Mo agreed immediately. Tang Ya, who was standing by, was so angry when she saw Lin Mo being so happy. It's not that she's stingy. She is also a soldier, and she naturally has a liking for people like Li Jianmen. If conditions permit, she naturally hopes that the other party can live a better life. But now is the end of the world, the end of the world. In her opinion, Lin Mo's behavior made him look like a fool. Then how do we trade? Li Jianmen asked. Lin Mo fell into deep thought. In fact, he has the system space, so it is not difficult to complete the transaction. But the difficulty lies in how to do it in a way that is reasonable and does not arouse suspicion. After all, the existence of the system must not be exposed at present. How about this? He came back to his senses, prepare what I want, and I will come to trade with you at this time tomorrow with the supplies. Okay. Li Jianmen was originally worried that Lin Mo would ask them to go somewhere else to trade, which would inevitably put them at great risk. Unexpectedly, Lin Mo took the initiative to ask to trade here, which is very beneficial to them. Then let's go. Lin Mo looked at Tang Ya. Tang Ya shook her head and pointed outside with a serious expression, I'm afraid we can't leave now. Lin Mo immediately walked to the sealed door, looked out through the gap, and then his brows frowned instantly. The zombies that were attracted by the gunshots have arrived and are now wandering in the yard. There were also quite a few zombies wandering on the streets outside the yard, and it was estimated that there were at least 100 of them. If they go out now, they will be surrounded in an instant. Seeing this, Li Jianmen couldn't help but smile bitterly. This is why we dare not go out to look for supplies even though we have ammunition. The sound of gunfire will attract endless zombies, and no matter how much ammunition they have, it will not be enough. This place should be the back door, right? Lin Mo asked. Yes, but I think the situation is similar to here. Li Jianmen said, why don't you wait here? These monsters will wander around for a while and may leave if they can't find their target. Lin Mo shook his head, unless they have a new target or are attracted by some other movement, they will not leave. Take me to the back door first. Li Jianmen nodded and took Lin Mo to the back door. The back door is a small door and is also sealed. However, you can still see what's happening outside through the gap. Just as Li Jianmin said, there were quite a few zombies wandering around outside. However, after observing for a moment, Lin Mo's eyes lit up slightly. He saw a car in good condition in the yard. Chapter 18, Kill the Virgin Mary first in the end of the world. Do you have the key to the car? Lin Mo asked. Li Jianmin shook his head. That was our squadron leader's car. After the accident, the squadron leader turned into a zombie, and no one knows where the key is. Lin Mo turned his head and looked at Tang Ya. Then I can only rely on you. You remember me now? Tang Ya glared at Lin Mo with some dissatisfaction. When she thought of Lin Mo's behavior that made him look like a fool, she became furious. But she was just complaining. After looking at the situation outside, she said, "It takes time to start the car. I'm familiar with the army's cars, but it will still take about a minute. Can you hold on?" Lin Mo looked at the yard outside the back door again. There are at least 30 zombies. Although they are relatively scattered, it is not easy to deal with. But he has no other choice now. Gripping the mace in his hand, he took a deep breath and said, "Let's go. Do you want to reconsider it? Maybe there will be a turning point if we wait. It doesn't matter if our transaction is delayed for 2 days." Li Jianmin advised hurriedly. Under the current circumstances, going out would simply be seeking death. No need. After we go out, seal the door immediately and try not to make any noise. After Lin Mo finished speaking, he quickly removed the wooden strips on the door, pushed the door open and walked out. Tang Ya followed closely behind, holding a baseball bat. Seeing this, Li Jianmin hesitated for a moment, but quickly closed the door and nailed the wooden strips. Huff huff. The moment Lin Mo walked out of the back door, 3 zombies wandering nearby immediately rushed over following the smell. Bring it on. A hint of fighting spirit appeared in Lin Mo's eyes, and he rushed forward wielding his mace. At the same time, the zombies in the distance heard the noise and rushed towards this direction. Tang Ya did not dare to delay. While the zombies' attention was drawn to Lin Mo, she trotted to the car. At the same time, a stick knocked on the car window. Their beep alarm sounded immediately. Many zombies that rushed towards Lin Mo turned around and rushed towards the car. Seeing this, Lin Mo swept his mace across the ground, knocking down several nearby zombies, and then quickly rushed towards the car. Encounter zombies blocking the road. He did the same thing directly and knocked them all to the ground. But even so, when he rushed to the car, 7 or 8 zombies had already surrounded it. The corner of his eye twitched slightly, and he swept his mace across, smashing the 2 ends closest to the car away. Then he threw their mace away and pulled out a short-handled machete from his backpack. These zombies were too close to the car, so it was difficult to use the maces. At the same time, the other 5 or 6 zombies no longer paid attention to Tang Ya and rushed towards him together. Lin Mo took a deep breath and rushed forward with his knife in hand. Laugh. The moment it got closer, the blade flashed a cold light in the air. The head of a zombie flew out directly, and blood gushed out like a column of water. At the same time, Lin Mo kicked the zombie hard on the body with a whip kick. Bang! The headless zombie that was spurting blood flew backwards and knocked the 2 zombies behind it to the ground. In the administration building, Li Jingming and his 8 men, who were lying on the gap to observe the situation, suddenly widened their eyes and looked shocked after seeing this scene. What a powerful force! Wasn't this guy a professional Sonder athlete before the apocalypse? Is it my illusion? These monsters are so difficult for us to deal with, how come they are so weak in his hands? It's not that the monster is weak, it's that it's strong. Li Jianmin said with a sigh, who among you could have kicked it just now? Captain, this is not our fault. We are armed police, not special police. In the yard. According to Lin Mo's fighting style, after kicking the zombie away, he should have taken advantage of the situation to pursue it and get the finishing blow to collect points. But at this time, he couldn't care less, because 4 more zombies rushed towards him from the right. If he doesn't care, these 4 zombies will directly threaten Tang Ya. He twisted his feet hard on the ground, changed direction instantly and rushed forward. Laugh. With another knife strike, another head flew out. As blood spurted, Lin Mo stepped forward, grabbed the zombie's arm with both hands, swung it up hard, and threw it out. Bang! The 2 zombies next to them were knocked to the ground. Lin Mo took advantage of the situation and stepped forward, chopping the fourth zombie's head diagonally with his machete, splitting it in half. As the blade chopped down, he clearly felt that the blade seemed to have hit something hard. But at this moment, he couldn't care less. After shaking off the red and white stains on the knife, he was about to move forward to finish off the opponent. Buzz. The engine roared suddenly, and the tires spun at high speed, producing a lot of smoke on the ground. Lin Mo turned around without hesitation, quickly picked up the mace on the ground, and jumped into the passenger seat. Next second. Buzz. The car shot out violently like a roaring beast. Several zombies right in front of the car were knocked away, and then immediately caught in the wheels. Lin Mo even clearly heard the sound of bone fragments hitting the car fender. How do we go? Tang Ya controlled the car to do a drift, knocking several zombies on the side away. Walk around the yard twice, and then go through the front door. Lin Mo said. I really don't know whether to say you are kind or a saint. Tang Ya complained, but still did it. The car circled the administrative building twice until all the zombies were attracted, and then it rushed out of the gate. Only then did Lin Mo feel at ease sitting in the passenger seat, and said with a smile, Don't worry, I will kill the Virgin Mary first in the last days, I won't make such a low-level mistake. He asked Tang Ya to drive around twice, really wanting to lure all the zombies away. But he did this not just to help Li Jianmen and others. Another very important reason is that they will come here to trade tomorrow. If they lure the zombies away now, it will be much easier for them tomorrow. And he did this on the premise that their safety was guaranteed. If doing so would threaten their safety, he would never take the risk. In the administration building, Li Jianmen and others looked at the zombies being attracted away by the car, and their expressions were somewhat complicated for a moment. Lin Mo and his companion rushed out at great risk, but helped them solve the problem when they left. It seems like they owe a big favor to you. Chapter 19, Elementary Gun Skills. Sharpening the knife does not delay the chopping of wood. Don't tell me you haven't thought about the current situation. Tang Ya looked at Lin Mo with a serious expression. Soon after the car rushed out of the third team, it had to stop. Because the road ahead was completely blocked. There were also quite a few zombies wandering on the road, probably attracted by the previous gunshots. At the same time, the large group of zombies they brought out from the third team were also rushing towards them quickly. I really want to say that I have thought about it. Lin Mo smiled bitterly, but given the current situation, he really had not thought about it. The situation was urgent before and he didn't have time to think so much. What should we do now? Tang Ya asked. Just run, what else can you do? Lin Mo jumped out of the car with a mace and rushed forward. There are a lot of cars on the road acting as roadblocks. It is not easy for the zombies behind to catch up with them. As long as they deal with the zombies ahead and find the discovery for they came in, they should be able to return to the financial building smoothly. I must have lost my mind to team up with you. Tang Ya complained helplessly and followed with her mountaineering bag on her back. There are quite a few zombies ahead. However, because there were cars on the road as cover, the two men fought and ran without encountering too much trouble. More than 10 minutes later, the two of them arrived near the shopping mall they passed by on their way here. The reason they went this way was because the zombies here had been cleared out when they came, so it was relatively safe. Then I ran for more than 1 kilometer and found for appeared in my sight. Maybe the zombies were attracted away when they came, and now there is not a single zombie near the car. Tang Ya immediately went forward to light the fire, then returned along the way she came. More than 40 minutes later, the two successfully returned to the 106th floor of the financial building. Phew, I'm so tired. While Lin Mo locked the entrance with a chain, Tang Ya threw her backpack aside and lay on the ground with her arms and legs spread out. When they went there, they ran for 3 or 4 kilometers. On their way back, it was another 3 or 4 kilometers. In the meantime, you have to keep fighting zombies. This consumes a lot of physical energy. Lin Mo was slightly stunned when he saw Tang Ya's look at this moment. The tight leather jacket and leather pants showed off Tang Ya's perfect curves even when she was lying down. Especially the full arc of the chest and the tight curve of the hips made Lin Mo's Adam's apple roll unconsciously. He was originally a young man full of vigor and vitality. Plus, my nerves have been tense these days. Now, when I suddenly saw such a scene, I can't take my eyes off it for a moment. Tang Ya felt that the atmosphere was a little silent, and she couldn't help but turn her head to look at Lin Mo. Then she saw that Lin Mo was staring straight at her, with a man's unique heat in his eyes. Tang Ya smiled and deliberately propped up her upper body to sit up, making her curves more full. How is it? My figure is pretty good, right? Lin Mo came back to his senses, his face slightly reddened, and then he quickly looked away, not wanting to respond to Tang Ya's words. Got caught peeking. This is indeed a bit embarrassing. His reaction surprised Tang Ya. I didn't expect that you have a face like a killer girl, but you are actually so innocent at heart. Lin Mo still didn't respond. He has been in love twice, so he is not innocent at all. But the words playboy and womanizer have nothing to do with him. Forget it, I won't tease you anymore. Tang Ya pulled her backpack and took out a bottle of water. After hesitating for a moment, she threw it to Lin Mo, then took out another bottle, took a sip, and asked, what are you going to do with the materials for the transaction? Lin Mo caught the water thrown by Tang Ya and was slightly surprised. Apart from the steak and vegetable salad he had given to Tang Ya as a token of gratitude, this was the first time they had shared supplies. This shows that Tang Ya's recognition of him should have increased a bit. Of course, after today's series of events, his recognition of Tang Ya has also increased a lot. After unscrewing the water and taking 2 sips, he replied, I have a way to deal with the supplies, you don't have to worry about it. After a slight pause, he continued, you can drink as much water as you want, and eat as much as you want. I have a way to get supplies. Considering that they would continue to live together, he felt it necessary to let Tang Ya know about this. Because they have to live together day and night, unless he is as frugal as Tang Ya, this matter cannot be kept secret. He had also considered the risks of doing so. As long as Tang Ya doesn't know how he got the resources, he will be safe. Whether in a normal society or in the Doomsday world, those who control resources will have the right to speak, and this is an eternal truth. Tang Ya looked at Lin Mo with some surprise. In Doomsday, daily necessities are the most precious. Because from the moment the end of the world begins, these things become non-renewable resources, and the more they are used, the less they will be. But what Lin Mo said just now was almost equivalent to telling her that he was willing to share supplies with her. This made her feel a little complicated. At this time, Lin Mo walked up to the 107th floor. Because just now, a system prompt sounded in his mind. Congratulations to their host, the mission, Survive, was successfully completed, and you were rewarded with 2,000 points. Arrived on the 107th floor. Lin Mo sat down in the corner farthest from the stairs and opened the system panel. God-level prophet system. The only host, Lin Mo. Intelligence, 98 plus normal adult intelligence is between 90-110. Strength, 200 plus average for normal adults is 100. Stamina, 200 plus. Agility, 200 plus. Spirit, 200 plus. Race, descendants of Yang and Huang common. Special talents, none. Skills, free fighting basic. Props, none. Points, 3419. 3,400 points. Lin Mo couldn't help but reveal a smile. Then, he directly opened the skill category in the system mall. I found gunmanship basic, and bought it without hesitation. This was something he had planned long ago. On the one hand, with the few points he currently has, there aren't many things for him to choose from in the mall. Among these limited choices, skills are the most practical and will bring the greatest benefits in the long run. On the other hand, he would get his gun tomorrow. Learning shooting at this time can maximize the effectiveness of the gun, which will be very helpful for him to earn points later. This is the truth that sharpening the knife does not delay the chopping of wood. Congratulations to their host, you have successfully purchased a skill by spending 2,000 points. At the same time as the system prompt sound falls, a lot of knowledge about firearms suddenly emerged in Lin Mo's mind. The parameters, performance, disassembly and assembly of various firearms, these things appeared clearly in his mind, as if he had recited and practiced them thousands of times. The muscles in various parts of his body also began to tremble rapidly. Chapter 20 Zombies begin to evolve. 2 minutes later. The muscle tremors stopped. Lin Mo doesn't have a gun now, and he has never fired a gun. But he knew clearly that if he was given a gun now, he would definitely be able to hit the target every time. Because of the muscle tremors just now, his body seemed to have been shot tens of millions of times and had developed strong muscle memory. The elementary marksmanship is so strong, I wonder what the effect will be at the intermediate and advanced levels. Lin Mo couldn't help thinking. But then he shook his head and closed the system panel. Intermediate skills start at 5,000 points, and advanced skills start at 10,000 points, which is not something he can think of now. Then he began to think about the details of tomorrow's transaction. How to deliver the things. How to retreat. These must all be considered in advance. With a gun, he can earn points quickly. Only with points can he become stronger quickly. Therefore, tomorrow's transaction must not be missed. 7 o'clock the next morning. Lin Mo went downstairs on time. As soon as he reached the 106th floor, Tang Ya, who was sleeping against a pillar, opened her eyes alertly. Seeing Lin Mo, she sat up lazily. It's too early for you. Lin Mo took out a bottle of milk and a piece of bread from his backpack and handed them over, then took out one for himself and said while eating, I'm going to go out for a while. Tang Ya looked at the milk in her hand and said, then I'll wait for you here. Be careful. Lin Mo nodded, finished his breakfast in a few bites, got up and left. Tang Ya must know what he is going to do. But she didn't ask any more questions. He really likes this tacit feeling. Arrived on the first floor. Lin Mo deliberately found a direction that could be seen by the sightseeing telescope and left the financial building. Because they were walking and made little noise, they didn't attract the attention of too many zombies. Occasionally a few zombies would find him, but he would be able to quickly deal with them and escape. He walked until he was at an angle where the financial building could not be seen, then he found a nearby building and ran inside. This is also an office building. There were more than a dozen zombies wandering in the lobby on the first floor. One of the zombies had completely turned into a skeleton below the waist, and it kept crawling on the ground. The entire hall floor was covered with bloodstains left by it crawling, which looked horrifying. Obviously, it avoided the zombieization in the early stages of the apocalypse, but failed to avoid the subsequent zombie attacks. The flesh and blood below its waist must have been eaten by other zombies. Lin Mo took a deep breath, picked up the mace, and rushed directly towards the nearest one. At the same time, the zombies also discovered him and rushed towards him. 3 minutes later, more than 10 zombies all turned into Lin Mo's points. Until this moment, the zombie without legs just crawled in front of Lin Mo. It kept waving its hands, trying to catch Lin Mo, and its mouth kept opening and closing, as if it couldn't wait to eat Lin Mo's flesh and blood. Lin Mo's expression remained calm as he pulled out a short-handled machete and chopped it down. Puff! The zombie's head was split in half like a watermelon. At the same time, Lin Mo clearly felt that the blade seemed to have hit something hard. He subconsciously picked up the machete and took a look, and found that there were 2 rice-sized gaps on the blade. 2 gaps. Lin Mo's expression changed, and then he remembered that he had experienced the same feeling of the blade hitting a hard object yesterday in the third team, but the situation was critical at the time, so he ignored it. What can chip a tungsten steel knife? Lin Mo's thoughts turned, and he began to carefully observe the head that he had just split open. Soon, he made a discovery. Inside the zombie's brain, there is a light blue crystal the size of a soybean. This thing should be the crystal core of the zombie, right? Lin Mo picked out the crystal with the tip of the knife, washed it with water, and held it in front of his eyes to observe it carefully. The light blue crystals are roughly oval in shape and look a bit like beads made from polished blue crystal. If you ignore the origin of this thing, it looks pretty good. Moreover, this thing is very hard. He placed the crystal on the ground and hacked at it with his machete. He cracked the floor tiles, but the crystals were intact. There is no such thing in the brain of a normal human. If this thing is really the crystal core of a zombie, it means that the zombies have begun to evolve. Lin Mo suddenly felt a strong sense of urgency in his heart. Once the zombies begin to evolve, their strength will become stronger and stronger, and it will not be as easy to deal with them as it is now. Thinking of this, he quickly stood up and chopped open the heads of the other dozen zombies. Fortunately, he never found a second crystal. This means that only a very small number of zombies have begun to evolve, which is good news for him. Then, Lin Mo found a safe room and stayed there for more than 3 hours. I think it's about time. He then followed the stairs to the basement of the building. There were only a few zombies in the basement, and he killed them easily. Then he came to an empty parking space, and with a thought, the Mercedes-Benz G-Class in the system space appeared in the parking space. After taking out the agreed amount of food and water and putting them in the car and locking the door, Lin Mo set off towards the financial building. In fact, he didn't want to use the car in the system space. Because the car is not cheap in the system. For example, this G-class costs 500 points, and he has to kill 100 zombies to earn it. But there's nothing I can do. If he used the cars in the basement, the sound of the alarm would definitely attract a large number of zombies. In that case, he would not be able to transport the supplies smoothly. Back to the financial building. It's already noon. Tang Ya was relieved when she saw Lin Mo coming back, and asked, "Are the supplies ready?" Lin Mo took out 2 boxes of self-heating rice from his backpack and said as he unpacked them, "It's ready. We'll drive over to pick it up and deliver it to the third team." "What are you going to do for the last 3 or 4 kilometers?" Tang Ya asked. Vehicles could not pass through that section of road, and it was difficult for the two of them to transport more than 700 kilograms of supplies. "Use a tricycle," Lin Mo said. "There are many small vendors near the last section of the road, and it's not difficult to find a tricycle." Tang Ya nodded and said nothing more. "Eat, and then get back to work." Lin Mo handed over a portion of the self-heating rice. Tang Ya didn't hesitate to take it and took a big bite, then showed an expression of great satisfaction. She has been eating bread these days and she has almost forgotten what food tastes like. After dinner, the two drove the Discovery 4 that had accompanied them in many battles and rushed towards the building where Lin Mo had placed the supplies. Lin Mo had already chosen the route, so he didn't have to worry about the road being blocked. But the sound of the car engine cannot be covered up. When the two men drove into the building, large groups of zombies followed behind. Chapter 21 Tang Ya's Imagination. "Follow me," Lin Mo called out, jumped out of the car and rushed towards the stairwell. Tang Ya, carrying a mountaineering bag, turned her head to look at the densely packed zombies behind her, and the corners of her eyes twitched slightly. There's no way to escape this. She and Lin Mo are probably really going to turn into zombies. Run all their way. The two quickly rushed into the stairwell. Then Tang Ya saw Lin Mo took out a chain lock from his backpack and locked the fire door from the inside. This scene made her reveal a hint of surprise. From morning till now, she has seen Lin Mo take out 2 bottles of milk, 2 loaves of bread, 2 portions of self-heating rice, and a chain lock from the bag. She felt that Lin Mo's bag was like a treasure bag, and he could always take out what he needed at the critical moment. But at this moment, she didn't have time to think too much. Because just as Lin Mo locked the door, the zombies had arrived. A large number of zombies crowded in front of the fire door, constantly pushing and banging on the door, and the clanging sound was deafening. Many zombies also reached their hands through the gaps and tried desperately to squeeze in. At this rate, I'm afraid these 2 doors won't be able to hold out for long. "Walk," Lin Mo called out again and quickly rushed towards the basement. Tang Ya hurriedly followed. By this time, she had roughly guessed Lin Mo's plan. If nothing unexpected happens, Lin Mo should have placed the supplies in the basement. But when she arrived at the basement and saw the brand new G-Class without even a license plate, she still widened her eyes in surprise. How did this guy get this car here without making any noise? However, when she saw Lin Mo open the car door with the key, she immediately figured out the answer. It turned out that the car originally belonged to Lin Mo. "I didn't expect you to be so rich." Tang Ya jumped into the driver's seat and started the car. Lin Mo smiled and said nothing. It's fine to let Tang Ya misunderstand like this. A moment later, the car roared out of the basement and sped towards the financial building. 40 minutes later, the car had to stop. "You guard the supplies, I'll go find a cart." Lin Mo jumped out of the passenger seat before he could finish his words. Tang Ya looked at the large group of zombies chasing after her and said, "You'd better hurry up, or I'll die here." After saying this, she twisted her neck and got out of the car holding her baseball bat. Lin Mo did not respond to Tang Ya's words. The reason why he suggested finding a cart himself was to do it faster. Because he can buy it from the system. Run about 1 kilometer. He quickly opened the daily necessities section of the system mall and spent 1 point to buy a human-powered tricycle. In fact, the price of this thing is far from enough for 1 point. However, the system's minimum deduction standard is 1 point, so you can only suffer a loss. But Lin Mo didn't care. 1 point is just a drop in the bucket for him. He slashed the seat of the tricycle with a machete, kicked the car twice, and then sprinkled some zombie blood on it to make the car look more worn out. Then he rode the car towards Tang Ya. From a distance he saw Tang Ya charging into the zombie horde. This woman is really fierce. A man was facing a large group of zombies, but there was no fear on his face, and he seemed to be getting braver as the battle went on. However, this also depends on the surrounding environment. The cars piled up on the road divided the zombies into small groups, which gave Tang Ya just enough space to maneuver. Crunch! Lin Mo braked, stopped the tricycle next to the G-Class, and quickly began to transfer supplies. A box of mineral water contains 24 bottles, so 400 bottles only make 16 or 17 boxes. As for food, each box weighs 30 to 40 kilograms, so there are only about 10 boxes. But even so, the small cargo box of the tricycle was stuffed into a small hill. In order to prevent the supplies from falling during the journey, Lin Mo took out a rope and tied them up before riding away. The whole process took less than 3 minutes. Tang Ya had been blocking the zombies that wanted to rush towards Lin Mo. It was not until he saw Lin Mo riding his bike far away from the corner of his eye that he quickly jumped onto the roof of the car next to him and chased after him. Of course, the zombies refused to give up, and they chased after him, waving their hands, grinning and showing their claws. More than 10 minutes later, the two arrived near the shopping mall they had been to before. Lin Mo glanced at the large number of zombies chasing after him, frowned, and jumped off the bike. "You ride your bike first. What about you?" Tang Ya asked subconsciously. "I have to lure these zombies away," Lin Mo said. If these zombies were allowed to follow the third team, their transaction would not be able to proceed at all. It will also bring danger to Li Jianmen and others. "But it's very dangerous for you to do this." Tang Ya gritted her teeth and said, "Well, you go and deliver the supplies, and I'll lead them away." Lin Mo looked at Tang Ya with some surprise. This woman protects him so much, does she completely treat him as a teammate? But he still shook his head. "Just do as I say, don't worry, I have a way." After saying that, without giving Tang Ya a chance to refute, he went straight towards the zombies. Seeing this, Tang Ya did not hesitate and immediately rode away on her tricycle. The moment the car turned at the intersection, she turned her head and saw Lin Mo rushing into the group of zombies waving a mace. Tang Ya's heart tightened. Before she could say anything, the car had already turned around the intersection. She could only grit her teeth and continue pedaling the tricycle forward. At the same time, Lin Mo did take the initiative to rush towards the large group of zombies. But he wouldn't be stupid enough to fight the zombies head on. At the moment when he was about to meet the zombies, he suddenly turned and rushed into an alley nearby. At this time, Tang Ya's figure had disappeared around the corner, and the zombies chased Lin Mo without hesitation. The moment you enter the alley, Lin Mo's eyes twitched instantly. Because there were 6 or 7 zombies wandering in this alley. If he was stopped by these zombies, he would be surrounded by the zombies behind him in just a few minutes. Dare not be negligent in the slightest. With a thought, he put away his mace, took out his short-handled machete, and rushed towards the zombies in front. Hearing the noise, the zombies rushed towards Lin Mo. When the two sides were still 3 meters apart, Lin Mo swung his arm and the machete in his hand flew out. Laugh. The machete made of tungsten steel was very heavy and penetrated into the forehead of a zombie in front of it without any hindrance. The zombie's body stiffened and slowly fell backwards. At this moment, Lin Mo's figure flew over, pulled out a machete, and then swept out. Puff! The second zombie's head shot straight up into the sky. At the same time, Lin Mo kicked sideways with his left leg, kicking the third zombie that was rushing towards him from the left away. From the time he threw the knife to the time the third zombie fell to the ground, it took only 3 seconds. This set of movements can be said to be smooth and completed in one go. The most important thing is that from beginning to end, Lin Mo's footsteps did not pause at all, and his speed was not affected at all. This made Lin Mo feel very fortunate. Fortunately, he had learned free fighting before. Otherwise, he would have died here at this moment. Chapter 22, Guns in Hand. He didn't have time to finish off the zombie he kicked away. Lin Mo continued to run forward. This alley is the back alley of several nearby buildings. He has already seen that there is a fire escape not far ahead that leads directly to the top floor of the building. As long as he can climb up, he should be able to get rid of these zombies. 30 seconds later, Lin Mo dealt with 4 more zombies and successfully rushed up the fire escape. The iron stairs make a clang 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 sound when you step on them, and because of the alley, the sound can be heard from far away. But at this moment, Lin Mo couldn't care about these things at all. Because he had no other way to go. After rushing all the way to the 6th floor, Lin Mo lowered his head and looked down, and then the corners of his eyes trembled violently. At least thousands of zombies gathered in the alley, almost filling the entire alley. All the zombies raised their heads and looked in his direction. Those faces, some bloody and some incomplete, crowded together are enough to make anyone with trypophobia faint instantly. At the entrance of the stairs, a large number of zombies were eager to climb the stairs, but because of the constant crowding, pushing and trampling among each other, no one could go up for a while. Lin Mo breathed a sigh of relief and quickly ran up the stairs. At the end of the staircase is a fire door. Pushing the door open and walking in, Lin Mo arrived at the top floor of the building. Judging from the interior decoration and furnishings, this was originally supposed to be a fitness club. A half-dozen zombies dressed in yoga and workout clothes are wandering around. Lin Mo's expression remained calm. He rushed forward with a machete in hand, and quickly finished the job. Then he quickly ran downstairs. Arrived on the 1st floor. Lin Mo walked directly out of the main entrance of the building. Because the zombies were led to the back alley, it was quiet here. He identified the direction and immediately ran towards the 3rd team. On the road, he could see a few zombies lying on the ground every few meters. If nothing unexpected happens, they should all be Tang Ya's masterpieces. More than 10 minutes later, the 3rd team has arrived. The bloody scene in the yard is still shocking. But it's different from last time. This time, as soon as he entered the yard, the door of the administrative building opened a crack. Tang Ya appeared in front of the gap and waved at him repeatedly. Lin Mo smiled slightly and rushed in quickly. Bang! Li Jianmen closed the door immediately and then sealed the gap with cloth. Are you okay? Tang Ya stepped forward and looked at Lin Mo with concern. It's okay. Lin Mo sat down on the ground, breathing heavily. After today's series of actions, even though he had twice the physical strength and endurance of an ordinary person, he could hardly bear it. After resting for several minutes, he looked at Li Jianmen and asked, "Are the things we want ready?" Li Jianmen nodded and took the two of them to a room on the 2nd floor. "These are all prepared for you. There is a wooden shelf in the room." Lin Mo took a quick look and saw 10 pistols, 10 rifles, 10 submachine guns, 2 sniper rifles, and 2 grenades. In addition, at the bottom of the iron rack, there are more than a dozen bulletproof vests, more than a dozen riot shields, more than a dozen riot batons, and more than a dozen sheath sabers. Finally, the bullet. Lin Mo roughly counted them: 200 pistol bullets, 500 rifle bullets, 300 submachine gun bullets, and 50 sniper rifle bullets. This amount is much more than the 2/5 they had agreed upon before. He looked at Li Jianmen with some surprise. "You were so stingy yesterday, why are you so generous today?" Li Jianmen explained, "You helped us lure away the zombies yesterday, so these extra things are our way of repaying you for your kindness." "Okay, then we won't be polite." Lin Mo picked up a pistol and weighed it in his hand. The moment he held the gun handle, he felt a sense of familiarity, as if he had shot with this gun countless times. At the same time, a piece of information naturally emerged in his mind. The Type 92 semi-automatic pistol has a total length of 199 mm, a total weight of 0.76 kg, a barrel length of 111 mm, and is fed by a 15-round double-row double-feed magazine. It uses domestically produced DAP 9mm pistol bullets and can also fire parabellum bullets. The current weight of this gun is consistent with the parameters, which means that it is equipped with a magazine but no bullets. A hint of surprise appeared in Lin Mo's eyes. It can even tell whether there are bullets or not. The effect of gunmanship basic was beyond expectations. Immediately, he picked up a magazine and began to skillfully load bullets into it. Seeing this scene, Li Jianmen couldn't help but ask in surprise, "Have you been a soldier before?" The Type 92 pistol is produced in China and is only used by the military. Very few of them have been released outside. If you hadn't been a soldier, you wouldn't be so skilled at loading bullets. "No," Lin Mo said casually, "but I am a gun fan and I have practiced with models before." Li Jianmen nodded suddenly. But Tang Ya, who was standing aside, looked at Lin Mo deeply. Because she noticed two details. The first one. The magazine capacity of the Type 92 pistol is 15 rounds, but Lin Mo only loaded 14 rounds. This is to prevent the spring in the magazine from being compressed too tightly and causing the bullet to jam during use. Only veterans who frequently use guns know this detail. The second one. After loading the magazine, Lin Mo did not load the gun directly, but pulled the bolt and loaded another bullet into the chamber. In this way, the actual bullet capacity of this gun is still 15 rounds, but it perfectly avoids the possibility of jamming. This practice is also known only by veterans with rich combat experience. Even she only knew about it after the captain of Longyear told her. The most important thing is that these details and experiences cannot be figured out by just playing with gun models. Who is Lin Mo? Tang Ya couldn't help but talk to herself in her heart. She had only known Lin Mo for 3 or 4 days, but Lin Mo showed so many differences from ordinary people. The first is physical strength far beyond that of ordinary people. This is by no means something that can be achieved through ordinary fitness. It requires years of high-intensity training. Then there is the terrifying speed at which strength increases. When she first met Lin Mo was just a rookie who couldn't even deal with more than 10 zombies. But now, even if Lin Mo's strength is not as good as hers, it is probably not much different. The third is the degree of understanding of zombies. Lin Mo himself did not admit this and made up excuses to fool him several times, but she was sure that Lin Mo's understanding of zombies was definitely far beyond that of ordinary people. Finally, it is the familiarity with firearms. Lin Mo's knowledge of firearms is definitely not worse than hers, and he may even have as much practical experience as her. All these things show that Lin Mo is not simple. At the same time, she was also full of curiosity about Lin Mo. Chapter 23 Lin Mo, you are so good, I will fall in love with you. Lin Mo didn't know what Tang Ya was thinking. After loading the bullets and turning off the safety, he held the gun in front of him and gestured at various positions, then looked at Li Jianmen. You should have a holster here, right? In fact, he has a system space, and the gun can be in his hand as long as he thinks about it, so there is no need to use a holster at all. However, in order to conceal one's tracks, some superficial work still needs to be done. We have prepared them for you in various styles. They should be placed under the bulletproof vests, said Li Jianmen. Lin Mo pulled open the bulletproof vests and saw a lot of gun holsters underneath. There are leggings, waist binding, and underarm styles, and they are all made of the latest alloy thermoplastic plate material. Holsters made of this material are lighter, more durable, and can be drawn faster than the original cowhide holsters. He thought about it and chose a pair of sling-style underarm holsters. The reason is simple, the underarm holster is the most comfortable to wear and will not affect his fighting movements. At the same time, Tang Ya also quickly stepped forward, picked up the holster and put it on. However, she chose a leg-type holster, and wore one on each leg. This made Tang Ya, who originally looked sexy and hot, instantly look more heroic. Lin Mo was not surprised that Tang Ya chose the legging-style holster. Because the leg-type holster has the fastest drawing speed. Generally, special forces will choose the legging style. Then, with the help of Li Jianmen and others, the two moved all the things onto the tricycle. Dozens of guns, each equipped with at least 2 magazines. Add to that bullets, bulletproof vests, riot shields, etc., and the small cargo box of the tricycle was once again piled up into a small hill, and it was even higher than when they came. But since it's tied with a rope, you don't have to worry about it falling off. Can I ask what your next plans are? Li Jianmen suddenly asked when the two were about to leave. He also knew that hiding here was not a long-term solution for them, so he began to consider long-term plans. But no matter how much he thought about it, he couldn't figure out what to do next. Hearing this, Tang Ya couldn't help but look at Lin Mo. She also wanted to hear what Lin Mo had to say. I don't have any plans. Lin Mo shook his head. If I have to say there is one, it is to try my best to survive. Before he became stronger, the zombies had already begun to evolve. This gave him a very strong sense of crisis. Therefore, his next plan was to earn points. Now that he has guns in his hands and is good at free fighting, he is confident that he can escape unscathed as long as he is not surrounded by a large number of zombies. He must establish sufficient advantage as soon as possible before the evolved forms appear among the zombies. Upon hearing this, Li Jianmen couldn't help but reveal a hint of disappointment in his eyes. At this moment, Lin Mo's voice sounded again. However, I can give you some advice. Li Jianmen's eyes lit up. You say? After the initial chaos, most people will subconsciously choose to stick together in order to survive. Lin Mo said, you have people and weapons, which is a huge advantage in the early stage. If you want to make long-term plans, my suggestion is to choose a suitable place to build a base, and then find a way to gather more people. When your stronghold reaches a certain size, survival will no longer be difficult for you. Establish a base. Li Jianmen thought, but what about supplies? The more people there are, the more supplies we will need. Lin Mo nodded and said, the consumption will indeed be greater, but more people will find more supplies. As long as a reasonable distribution method is formulated and everyone in the base performs their duties, the supply problem will not be difficult to solve. Reasonable allocation, everyone doing their job. I understand, thank you. Li Jianmen thanked solemnly. Lin Mo's suggestion did point him in a direction forward. You're welcome. Lin Mo smiled, then looked at Tang Ya, then let's go. Tang Ya nodded. Immediately, the two of them, one riding a bike and the other pushing a bicycle, quickly left the third team and started returning along the original route. Because we had cleared out all the zombies when we came, there was a rare moment of peace on their way back. Do you also want to establish a base? Tang Ya suddenly asked while pushing the cart. She listened to Lin Mo's advice to Li Jianmen, and it didn't seem like it was thought up on the spur of the moment. Me? Lin Mo shook his head, probably not in the short term. So it will be built in the future. Tang Ya said. Maybe. Lin Mo sighed, in the end times, who can predict what will happen in the future? Then, he turned to look at Tang Ya, what about you? What are your plans? Tang Ya raised her willow leaf eyebrows slightly, what? You don't want me as a teammate, you want to kick me out. Lin Mo smiled and said, if I ask you to stay, will you stay? Tang Ya's expression froze for a moment, then she waved her hand, forget it, let's talk about the future later. Didn't you also say that no one can predict what will happen in the future? Lin Mo glanced at Tang Ya and said nothing more. 20 minutes later. The two of them returned to Big G smoothly. Another 40 minutes later. The two drove the G-Class back to the basement of the financial building. Do we need to move these things upstairs? Tang Ya looked at the pile of weapons and equipment that almost filled the entire car. It's a building with more than 100 floors. If you want to move all these things up there, it would definitely be hard work. No need. Lin Mo said without hesitation, pick a few that you can take with you, and leave the rest in the car. Tang Ya nodded, took 2 pistols and put them into their holsters on both sides of her legs, took 2 sabers and put them into her backpack, then got out of the car directly. What she didn't know was, as she got off the car, all the stuff in the car had entered Lin Mo's system space. Returned to the 106th floor. Lin Mo took out 2 more self-heating rice bowls. After he and Tang Ya each finished 1 portion, he went back to the 107th floor and lay down. Originally he wanted to go and earn points right away, but considering that he had consumed too much energy today, he decided to rest for a night before going. However, just after lying down, he turned over and sat up again, then took out a sleeping bag from the system space, went downstairs and handed it to Tang Ya. Tang Ya has been sleeping leaning against a pillar these days. The two of them were not familiar with each other before, so he didn't bother to pay attention to her. But now, they have fought side by side after all, and it is a bit unreasonable to let Tang Ya sleep like that. Lin Mo, you are so nice, I will fall in love with you. Tang Ya's eyes lit up when she saw the sleeping bag. Guess whether I believe this or not. Lin Mo threw down the sleeping bag and turned away. Then do you want me to guess it or not? There was a hint of charm in Tang Ya's voice. Fairy. Lin Mo's mouth twitched and he quickly went upstairs. However, Tang Ya's cheerful laughter still came through clearly. Chapter 24, Skyrocketing Points. The next morning. Lin Mo still went downstairs on time at 7 o'clock. This time, Tang Ya, lying in the sleeping bag, just opened her eyes, looked at him, and then closed her eyes again. Lin Mo took out a bottle of milk and a loaf of bread, put them down, then opened the chain and went downstairs quickly. Wait until he leaves. Only then did Tang Ya open her eyes. Just looking at the bread and milk not far away, her expression couldn't help but become a little complicated. A moment later, she sighed softly and closed her eyes again. After Lin Mo went downstairs, he walked directly towards Lingyu building where he stored the supplies yesterday. Because they drove into the building yesterday, there were a large number of zombies gathered there, which was perfect for him to earn points. On the way, he glanced at the system panel. Points, 1528. After he purchased Gunmanship Basic, he had 1419 points left. I killed some zombies here and there yesterday, and spent my points to buy a tricycle, so my current total is 1528. And his goal today is points, 5000. A moment later, Ling Yu building arrived. The zombies gathered on the first floor of the building immediately discovered Lin Mo. A dense group of zombies swarmed towards him. Lin Mo's mind moved, and a Type 95 automatic rifle appeared in his hand. At the same time, information emerged in his mind. The Type 95 automatic rifle has a total length of 745 mm, a total weight of 3.25 kg, a barrel length of 463 mm, a caliber of 5.8 mm DBP-87 bullet, and can be fed by a 30-round detachable magazine or a 75-round detachable drum magazine. Call. Lin Mo took a deep breath, adjusted the shooting mode to single shot, then aimed at the zombie in the front and pulled the trigger directly. Bang! A muffled sound. The bullet hit the zombie's forehead accurately, and the zombie slowly fell backwards. But before it could fall to the ground, the zombies rushing in from behind pushed it to the ground and trampled over it. Lin Mo seemed not to have seen this scene. He turned the muzzle of the gun slightly and began to pull the trigger continuously. Bang! 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 Muffled sounds continued to be heard. With every sound, a zombie fell to the ground. And all the zombies were shot in the eyebrows, without exception. The effect of Marksmanship Basic is enough to allow Lin Mo to maintain extremely high accuracy even in rapid shooting. In less than half a minute, a magazine was empty. Lin Mo quickly changed the magazine and started shooting while backing away. There are too many zombies. Even if he killed one zombie per second, he couldn't slow down the speed at which the zombies approached. However, this is exactly the effect he wanted. Because in his eyes at this time, the zombies are no longer zombies, but points. Lots of points. 106th floor of the financial building. Bang! When the first gunshot was heard, Tang Ya, who was eating bread and drinking milk, was suddenly startled. She quickly turned over, rushed to the sightseeing telescope, and looked in the direction where the sound came from. But because of the tall buildings, she couldn't see anything. The sound of a 95 automatic rifle. Lin Mo is shooting. He's in danger. Tang Ya made a quick judgment, picked up the baseball bat and rushed out. But just then, bang! 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 Regular and rapid gunshots were heard one after another. Tang Ya's forward steps suddenly stopped. The point fire effect turned out to be a burst. There was a hint of shock in Tang Ya's eyes. It took her a long time to come back to her senses. Then she slowly returned to her original position and continued to eat bread. Bang! 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 Lin Mo's sighed. The gunfire continued. In just over a minute, he had emptied 2 magazines. The ammunition was consumed quickly. Corresponding to this is his rapidly rising points. 5 points per zombie. 2 magazines with 60 bullets brought him a full 300 points. This speed of earning points is really fast. With a smile on his face, he quickly took out a new magazine, loaded it, and started shooting again. Bang! Bang! Congratulations to their host, you have killed 200 zombies cumulatively and received an extra reward of 1000 points. Bang! Congratulations to their host, you have killed 300 zombies cumulatively and received an extra reward of 1000 points. Bang! Congratulations to their host, you have killed 400 zombies cumulatively and received an extra reward of 1000 points. Bang! Bang! After another gunshot, Lin Mo stopped shooting. Because no more zombies. All the zombies gathered here have been killed by him. Looking at the hundreds of corpses that had piled up into a small mountain, Lin Mo himself was a little shocked. Without realizing it, I had killed so many people. But when he saw the points, he couldn't help but burst out laughing. Points, 5,828. It's simply an unprecedented surge in wealth. Today's goal has been accomplished. But it's not enough. A gleam of light flashed in Lin Mo's eyes, and he continued to walk further away. He was earning points with the gun much faster than he had expected. In this case, he naturally cannot miss this great opportunity. Finally stopped. 106th floor, financial building. Hearing the gunshot, Tang Ya couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. They exchanged a total of 500 rifle bullets from Li Jianmen. But just in this short period of time, Lin Mo had fired nearly 300 rounds. If we continue to shoot like this, the few remaining bullets will soon be used up. What on earth is this guy thinking? You took such a big risk to get the bullets, but instead of keeping them for the critical moment, you are here to massacre zombies. Tang Ya was really puzzled. But after all, these bullets were exchanged for Lin Mo's supplies, so she couldn't interfere. But just when she thought Lin Mo had stopped, about 10 minutes passed. Bang! Bang! The familiar sound of gunfire came again. But this time, the gunshots were obviously much smaller, and they must have come from farther away. So, the ceasefire just now was because we wanted to change location. Tang Ya was a little amused. But she finally understood it. Lin Mo will never stop until all those bullets are used up. Chapter 25, Who would practice martial arts when one can cultivate immortality? Bang! Bang! Congratulations to their host, you have killed 500 zombies cumulatively and received an extra reward of 1000 points. Congratulations to their host, you have killed 1000 zombies cumulatively and received an additional reward of 10,000 points. 10,000. Lin Mo's eyes suddenly lit up. This is definitely an unprecedented high reward. However, before he could be happy, the system prompt sounded again. Congratulations to their host, you have killed 1000 zombies cumulatively and obtained the title of Zombie Hunter. Zombie Hunter, because you have killed a large number of zombies, the zombies are afraid of you. When they enter your 10-meter range, their speed is reduced by 5%. Congratulations to their host for obtaining the title of Zombie Hunter and receiving an additional reward, a 50% discount card for the system mall, a one-time item and limited to purchasing one item. Lin Mo couldn't help but reveal a bright smile on his face. Title: 50% off card. These two rewards are definitely top-notch. Especially the 50% off card. This is equivalent to doubling the purchasing power of points. For him now, this is like having a pillow delivered to him when he is sleepy. It feels so good. Use the last few dozen bullets to clear out the zombies around you. Lin Mo trotted all the way back to the 106th floor of the financial building. Tang Ya saw Lin Mo and wanted to say something, but in the end she didn't open her mouth. Instead, she took out a bottle of water and handed it to him. Thank you. I'll go upstairs and rest for a while. Lin Mo took the water and drank half of the bottle in one breath, then quickly returned to the 107th floor and opened the system panel. Points, 2 for 528. This was what he gained for the whole day. He got a total of 1050 bullets of various types from Li Jianmen. Now, except for the 50 rounds of bullets in the sniper rifle, the remaining 1000 rounds have all been used up. Having a 50% discount card means my 20,000 points can be used as 49,000 points. Lin Mo opened the system mall with a smile. With nearly 50,000 points, he has much more room to choose than before. However, after his eyes stayed on the attribute classification for a moment, he finally opened the skill classification. On the one hand, in the attribute classification, he can't afford anything other than attribute points. For example, the cheapest attribute is Martial Arts Prodigy. After possessing this attribute, there will be no bottleneck in practicing any martial arts. But the price of this attribute is 100,000 points. As for the more advanced innate spiritual bodies, the 5 elements sword bodies, the body of all poisons, the ancient holy bodies, and so on, they all start at least 7 digits, so he can forget about it in the short term. On the other hand, for him at this stage, skills are more practical than attributes. Because skills can directly improve his strength, while attributes need to rely on skills to play a role. Immediately, Lin Mo began to check it carefully. Free Fighting Advanced, 10,000 points. Gunmanship Advanced, 10,000 points. Chi-Men San Cai Dao, 15,000 points. Tianshan Plum Blossom Hand, 20,000 points. Lingbo Weibu, 25,000 points. Nine Yang Magic Art, 30,000 points. Varger Indestructible Divine Art, 50,000 points. What should I choose? Lin Mo muttered to himself. It's not that he has difficulty making choices. But the skill selection this time is crucial. The zombies have begun to evolve, and as time goes by, they will become stronger and stronger. Therefore, when choosing skills, he cannot only consider the present, but also the long-term development. It's best if the skill you choose this time has growth potential, and the higher the growth potential, the better. Lin Mo's thoughts turned as he continued to flip through their mall pages. 3 points return to origin, 70,000 points. Sword 23, 80,000 points. Basic immortal cultivation technique, the first 3 levels of the chi refining stage, 100,000 points. Huh? Lin Mo's expression changed suddenly. The technique of cultivating immortality. Although it is just a basic technique without even a proper name, and it only contains the contents of the first 3 levels of the chi refining period. But who would practice martial arts if they can cultivate immortality? And in terms of growth potential, I'm afraid no skill can compare to the immortal cultivation method. The most important thing is that he now has a 50% off card, so 100,000 points actually only cost 50,000. If he works hard, he still has a great chance. Thinking of this, Lin Mo directly closed the skill classification and clicked on the prop classification instead. Pistol bullet, 1 point shot. Rifle bullet, 2 points shot. Submachine gun bullets, 2 points shot. Sniper rifle bullet, 4 points shot. For this price, it's best to use a pistol. I am currently more than 25,000 points away from 50,000 points. I need to kill about 1,000 zombies to get enough points. That means I have to buy at least 1,000 rounds of ammunition. After thinking it over in his mind, Lin Mo gritted his teeth and prepared to buy it. But at this moment, an idea flashed in his mind and he quickly found the firearms page. Type 92 pistol, 2,000 points. Desert Eagle, 2,500 points. Type 95 rifle, 5,000 points. Type 92 pistol unlimited bullets, 10,000 points. Stared at the mall page for a moment. Lin Mo gritted his teeth and chose to buy it. Congratulations to their host, you have spent 10,000 points and successfully purchased a Type 92 pistol unlimited bullets. This was a decision he made after careful consideration. Although the investment of 10,000 points is very large for him. But in the coming period of time, he will definitely use guns frequently. If you keep buying bullets, the points you need will accumulate over time, and I'm afraid it will not be a small number. The most important thing is that he uses points to buy bullets. Once the bullets are used up, he will lose all his money and belongings and get nothing. But buying a pistol with unlimited bullets is different. As long as he kills more than 10,000 zombies with this gun, it would be equivalent to him getting a pistol with unlimited bullets for free, which is a definite profit. Lin Mo's mind moved, and a Type 92 pistol with unlimited bullets appeared in his hand. At the same time, the performance parameters and other data of this gun also appeared in my mind one by one. Their weight, performance, parameters, and appearance are almost the same as the Type 92 pistol he got from Li Jianmen. The only difference is that the magazine of the unlimited bullet model is not removable. No need to change magazines, which can be considered a big advantage. A smile appeared on Lin Mo's lips. In fact, changing the magazine is not troublesome, but loading the bullets is troublesome. Take 1,000 rounds of bullets as an example. If you want to load all these bullets into the magazine, it will probably take an hour or so even if you keep pushing them. Moreover, it would take nearly 70 magazines to use up all 1,000 rounds of bullets, and he didn't have that many magazines available. If you buy magazines, that will be another considerable expense. So, no matter how you look at it, buying this gun is a good deal. The next 2 days. Lin Mo goes out early and comes back late every day. And his purpose of going out is only one: to earn points. For 2 days, he was almost completely immersed in the pile of zombies. He even had blisters on his index fingers from constantly pulling the triggers. However, hard work will naturally be rewarded with generous rewards. Points, 50,028. In 2 days, he killed another 1,700 zombies, and finally his points exceeded 50,000. Including the 1,000 he killed before, the cumulative number of zombies he has killed has now reached 2,700. If you tell others about it, it will probably scare a lot of people. Then, Lin Mo went directly back to the 107th floor and opened the system panel. Basic immortal cultivation technique can finally be purchased. He was looking forward to how much improvement this skill could bring him. Chapter 26, the third stage of chi refining, the attributes increase dramatically. Congratulations to their host, you have successfully purchased their basic immortal cultivation technique first 3 stages of chi refining period by consuming 50,000 points and a 50% discount card from the mall. As the system prompt sounded, Lin Mo's score instantly dropped to a pitiful 28. At the same time, a lot of basic knowledge about cultivating immortals emerged in his mind. For example, the division of the realms of cultivation, the precautions for cultivation, the methods of using true qi, and so on, are all some of the most basic knowledge, but they are extremely complicated and vast. The amount of information was so huge that Lin Mo felt a dull pain in his head. Fortunately, this knowledge, like the previous firearms knowledge, seems to be imprinted in the mind as soon as it appears, so there is no need to worry about forgetting it. About 10 minutes passed. The constant flow of information finally stopped. At this moment, Lin Mo clearly felt that there was suddenly an extra air in his body. The energy originated from the dantian, and as soon as it appeared, it began to circulate along a specific route. At first, the energy was very weak, like a thin silk thread. But as it continued to move, it began to grow thicker at a speed visible to the naked eye. It ran for half an hour. Only when it became as thick as a matchstick did the energy stop circulating and slowly return to the dantian. The third level of qi refining, accomplished. Lin Mo clenched his fists excitedly, his eyes shining. Successfully entering the third level of qi refining meant that he was now a true immortal cultivator. Immortal cultivator. Half a month ago, he would never have believed that he could become an immortal cultivator one day. Subconsciously, he looked at his system panel. God-level prophet system. The only host, Lin Mo. Intelligence, 100 plus. Normal adult intelligence is between 90-110. Strength, 400 plus. Average for normal adults is 100. Stamina, 400 plus. Agility, 400 plus. Spirit, 300 plus. Race, descendants of Yang and Huang common. Special talents, none. Skills, basic immortal cultivation technique. Third level of qi refining, free fighting elementary, gunmanship elementary. Props, type 92 pistol, unlimited bullets. Points, 28. Strength, agility, and endurance have all doubled. Spirit also increased by 100 points. Even my intelligence has increased by 2 points. Lin Mo was both surprised and unexpected. He originally thought that the first 3 levels of the qi refining stage would not bring about significant changes to the body. After all, with this level of strength in the world of immortal cultivation, it can only be considered as entry level at best. But I didn't expect the effect to be so good. But after thinking about it, he understood. After all, what you are practicing is immortal magic, so it is normal to have a bigger improvement. It's a pity that I don't have enough points to buy skills. Lin Mo felt a little regretful. Based on the basic knowledge of cultivating immortals that emerged in his mind. After his strength reached the third level of the qi refining stage, he was already able to practice some basic skills in the world of immortal cultivation. For example, the art of controlling the sword, the art of concealing the breath, the complete collection of talismans, and so on. However, these skills require points to purchase, and the prices are not low. Swordsmanship, priced at 50,000 points. The art of concealing breath, priced at 30,000 points. Collection of talismans, priced at 80,000 points. None of them are affordable for him now. But having no skills doesn't mean that his strength at the third level of qi refining is useless. Lin Mo moved his mind and took out a few pairs of disposable chopsticks from the system space. With the internal qi circulating, he picked up a chopstick and threw it casually. Laugh. The wooden chopsticks left a residual image in the void and instantly pierced into a concrete pillar more than 10 meters away. The chopsticks were more than 20 centimeters long, but only 5 or 6 centimeters were left exposed. You can imagine the power of this chopstick. Lin Mo couldn't help but reveal a smile. In the past, even if his strength increased tenfold, he would not have been able to achieve this level. Flying flowers and picked leaves can all hurt people. This is the true power of qi. In other words, the total amount of his true energy is limited, otherwise with this trick, he would even save the gun. He also discovered one more thing. Sword controlling technique, breath containing technique, collection of talismans. These skills were only revealed after he learned the basic cultivation technique. He hadn't seen these when he was looking for skills in the mall before. In other words, in order to display these skills, there are prerequisites. He must become a cultivator. This made Lin Mo very fortunate. Fortunately, he got a 50% off card. He was also thankful that he was not scared off by the price of 100,000 points for basic cultivation technique. Otherwise, it would be difficult for him to embark on the path of a cultivator. So in the next period of time, I still have to work hard to earn points. Lin Mo muttered to himself. Now that his body has been strengthened once again, coupled with a pistol with unlimited bullets, his efficiency in gaining points will definitely be faster than before. Therefore, the next goal he set for himself was swordsmanship. With the sword controlling technique, he finally had the real attack method of a cultivator. Only then will he be able to truly gain a foothold in this Doomsday. But if you want to quickly earn points, I'm afraid you'll have to give up this place. Lin Mo's thoughts turned. In order to quickly accumulate 50,000 points, he has been killing crazily in the past few days and has eliminated all the zombies nearby. If he wanted to continue to gain points quickly, he would have to go further away. If I go there and come back, it will take too long to get there. Therefore, the most efficient approach is to live wherever you kill. Think of this. He took out 2 self-heating rice bowls, stood up and went to the 106th floor. Tang Ya was doing strength training. When she saw Lin Mo, she took a towel and wiped the sweat off her forehead and asked, "Have you rested?" Lin Mo nodded and handed over a portion of self-heating rice. The two of them tore open the package and started heating the rice. While waiting for the rice to heat up, I. The two people spoke almost at the same time, and then stopped at the same time. Lin Mo smiled and looked at Tang Ya. "You speak first." "Okay." Tang Ya said without hesitation, "I want to ask you if you know where I can get a radio or a walkie-talkie." Lin Mo asked, "What do you want these things for?" These things can be bought in his system mall, and the price is not high, only 200 or 300 points. "I want to try and see if I can contact the military or my teammates," Tang Ya said. "What happens after we get in touch?" Lin Mo asked again. Tang Ya had a complicated expression. "Of course I will join them. If I want to survive in the apocalypse, I definitely can't do it alone, and..." She glanced at the self-heating rice in front of her. "I don't want to take advantage of you all the time. I never felt that you took advantage of me," Lin Mo said. If Tang Ya hadn't taken a huge risk to help him get a gun, he wouldn't have the strength he has now. Compared with this, the supplies he gave to Tang Ya were nothing. After 2 seconds of silence, he said, "It's not difficult. I'll find a way to bring it back to you tomorrow." Tang Ya nodded and looked at Lin Mo. "What did you want to say just now?" "Nothing." Lin Mo shook his head. He actually wanted to discuss with Tang Ya about giving up this place. But now it seems that there is no need for this. Chapter 27, Emotionless Shooting Machine. The next morning. As usual, Lin Mo left a breakfast for Tang Ya and then left the financial building. But this time he didn't walk, but drove a Mercedes-Benz G-Class. On the one hand, he had almost killed all the zombies nearby, and he wanted to go somewhere farther away, so driving would be more efficient. On the other hand, the sound of the car engine can help him attract zombies. Lin Mo also felt a little emotional about this. He was afraid that the sound of the engine would attract zombies, so he didn't dare to move the car. But now, he hoped that this sound would attract more zombies. The contrast between before and after is really too great. Driving. Lin Mo headed directly towards the third team. When he was getting the gun before, he led a large number of zombies into an alley. If nothing unexpected happens, the zombies should still be gathered there. For him, it would be a great place to earn points. Half an hour later, Lin Mo arrived at the place. In the alley, all those densely packed zombies were indeed there. However, he did not act rashly. Instead, he entered through the main entrance of the building and walked all the way to the fitness club. Walking out of the back door of the clubhouse is the iron fire escape staircase. Clang! The moment Lin Mo stepped onto the stairs, a slight sound was heard. The zombies that were originally wandering quietly in the alley suddenly raised their heads and looked at Lin Mo. Those faces, which were bloody and colorless due to being transformed into zombies, looked particularly creepy. The next second, all the zombies rushed towards the fire escape frantically as if they were given an injection of chicken blood. However, because the entrance to the stairs was narrow, the zombies pushed and shoved each other, and they couldn't get up for a while. Lin Mo looked at the scene expressionlessly, took out a pistol with unlimited bullets, and began to pull the trigger continuously. Bang! Bang! With every gunshot, a zombie fell. Every zombie was shot in the center of the eyebrows. 10 minutes. 20 minutes. Not only did the number of zombies in the alley not decrease, but they gathered more and more because of the gunfire. Lin Mo felt as if he had turned into an emotionless shooting machine. But he never gets tired of it. Because. Congratulations to their host, you have killed 2,800 zombies cumulatively and received an extra reward of 1,000 points. Congratulations to their host, you have killed 3,000 zombies cumulatively and received an additional reward of 10,000 points. Congratulations to their host, you have killed 3,100 zombies cumulatively and received an extra reward of 1,000 points. Points, 15028. Lin Mo couldn't help but reveal a smile. At this rate, he should be able to master the swordsmanship soon. And just at this moment, he suddenly saw from the corner of his eye that a zombie was rushing towards him. This speed. Lin Mo was slightly startled and immediately turned his head to look over. Then, his eyes widened instantly, his face full of shock. Because the other zombies generally look like humans, but this one is obviously not. It is on all fours and running like an animal. Moreover, this zombie has extremely strong jumping ability. With the help of the air conditioning unit on the outer wall of the building, it jumped to the roof in a few jumps. Is this a cat? Lin Mo finally saw the appearance of the zombie clearly. Its facial features still look about 50% like a cat, but because it has become a zombie, the surface of its body has completely lost its fur and has turned into blood-red muscle. It feels like a skinned bullfrog, where you can clearly see its muscle lines and texture. Moreover, this zombie cat is as big as a calf. This shouldn't be an evolved zombie, but a mutated animal. Lin Mo's thoughts turned. He remembered that the system prompts had said that there was a certain chance that the animals and plants on Earth would mutate. Hiss. Just at this moment, the cat zombie let out a strange hiss, then moved its limbs and pounced towards Lin Mo quickly. Lin Mo's eyes narrowed, and without paying attention to the zombies on the stairs, he immediately turned the gun and pulled the trigger at the cat zombie. Bang! Gunshots rang out. At this moment, Lin Mo clearly saw that the zombie cat that was flying towards him suddenly twisted its body in the air, then changed direction in mid-air and landed somewhere else. The bullet he fired naturally missed. This was the first time he had missed a bullet after learning gunmanship basic. His eyes narrowed slightly. Lin Mo turned the muzzle of the gun and continued to pull the trigger. Bang! 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 The sound of gunfire continued. But all the bullets missed. Zombie cats are so flexible. Moreover, it seemed to have a keen intuition about danger and could always change direction the moment Lin Mo turned the muzzle of the gun. However, due to Lin Mo's fire blockade, it was unable to get close to Lin Mo for a while. But this would make the situation very unfavorable for Lin Mo. Because the zombies on the stairs were getting closer and closer. He could even clearly hear the sound of zombies' footsteps on the iron stairs. We must fight quickly and decisively. Lin Mo's mind turned, and then he changed his left hand to hold the gun, and a pair of disposable chopsticks appeared out of thin air in his right hand. Hiss! Unable to get close to Lin Mo, the zombie cat seemed to be getting anxious. With an angry roar, it moved its limbs and pounced on Lin Mo again, and its speed seemed to be even faster than before. Bang! Lin Mo pulled the trigger directly. The gun sense brought by marksmanship basic allows him to accurately lock onto the target without much aiming. The moment the gunshot rang out, the zombie cat's body twisted in the air and changed direction again. Now! Lin Mo's eyes focused, the internal chi circulated, and the disposable chopsticks in his right hand flew out of his hand. Call out. The air made a slight sound of being torn. The disposable chopsticks were like a flash of lightning, accurately piercing into the zombie cat's forehead, and then flew out from behind its head, flying to an unknown place. Plop! The corpse of the zombie cat fell heavily to the ground. Lin Mo breathed a sigh of relief, but without stopping for a moment he turned the gun and began to pull the trigger frantically towards the stairs. Because of the delay just now, a large number of zombies have rushed to the roof. He must get rid of all these zombies, otherwise his feng shui treasure land will be lost. Bang! 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 Accompanied by gunshots, zombies continued to fall down. Just 2 minutes later, Lin Mo was guarding the staircase again. And the reason why it can be so fast? All thanks to his unlimited bullet pistol. Not having to change magazines really saved him a lot of time and greatly improved his efficiency. Then, Lin Mo once again turned into an emotionless shooting machine. Chapter 28 Super Harvest. The stairs are high up and easy to defend but difficult to attack. The zombies rushing up from below are complete sitting ducks for S. Congratulations to their host, you have killed 3,200 zombies cumulatively and received an extra reward of 1,000 points. Congratulations to their host, you have killed 4,000 zombies cumulatively and received an additional reward of 10,000 points. Congratulations to their host, you have killed 4,100 zombies cumulatively and received an extra reward of 1,000 points. When the last system prompt sounded, Lin Mo stopped shooting and put the gun away. Because all the zombies in the alley had been killed by him. Gently moving his sore fingers, he opened the system panel with a thought. Points, 39028. Lin Mo couldn't help but reveal a smile. When he went out today, he only had 28 points. But now there are more than 39,000. In one day, nearly 40,000 points. This is definitely a huge harvest for him. That's the benefit of firearms. Before, he couldn't even imagine that the efficiency would be so high. Luckily I bought a pistol with unlimited bullets that day. Lin Mo couldn't help but feel a little relieved. He killed a total of 1,400 zombies today. Add to that the 1,700 heads from before. After he bought a pistol with unlimited bullets, he has killed 3,100 zombies. In other words, if he kills another 6,900 zombies, he can earn a pistol with unlimited bullets. But if he had chosen to buy bullets that day, then now, not only would his bullets be used up, but he would also have more than 3,000 points less. Lin Mo secretly sighed at his own wisdom, then hurried downstairs and drove the G-Class back to the financial building. After arriving at the basement, he did not park the G-Class in the parking space, but directly put it into the system space. This is obviously safer than doing it in the basement. Then he came to the restaurant on the 105th floor. I took out the gas stove that I had put away earlier and started cooking. He bought the ingredients from the system mall. 2 top-quality Wagyu steaks, a bottle of 1982 Lafite, a vegetable salad, some bread rolls, all these things added up to less than 1 point. After finishing, he put these things on a table, then carried the table directly back to the 106th floor. With such luxury, isn't life over? Tang Ya's eyes widened instantly when she saw the table of delicious food that Lin Mo brought over. Wagyu. Wine. If it weren't for the bloody smell of zombies still lingering on Lin Mo's body, she would even doubt whether the Doomsday was over. Wait a minute, I'll get 2 chairs. Lin Mo put the table down and went to the 105th floor to bring up 2 chairs. Then the two sat opposite each other and began to enjoy the food. Lin Mo's cooking skills were average, and he didn't seal the edges of the steak to lock in moisture, so the steak was a little overcooked. But because it is top-grade Wagyu beef, the taste is still very good. There are also small breads for side dishes, which are ready-made breads purchased from the system. They can be eaten after slightly heating and they taste very good. Tang Ya praised the food highly. There was a table full of food, and both of them were full, but there was still a lot left. It's a sin to waste food like this in the end times, but I really can't eat any more. Tang Ya rubbed her stomach with a distressed expression. She never thought that after the end of the world, there would be a day when she would be too full. Come and try this wine. Lin Mo picked up the wine glass. He found the wine glass in the restaurant on the 105th floor. He didn't know which glass went with which wine, so he just picked up 2 clean ones at random. Tang Ya raised her glass and clinked it with Lin Mo, then squinted at Lin Mo. You don't want to get me drunk and take advantage of me, do you? I tell you, I can drink a lot. Lin Mo smiled and said, if I want to take advantage of you, I don't think I need to get you drunk. It's not that he's arrogant. Not to mention his current strength of the 3rd level of Qi refining. In terms of physical fitness alone, Tang Ya is no match for him. If you are so confident, why don't you practice? Tang Ya immediately put down her wine glass, eager to try. Forget it. Lin Mo shook his head. He didn't want to hit Tang Ya. After all, Tang Ya came from a special forces unit. Moreover, a few days ago, his strength was not as good as Tang Ya's. TSK, boring. Tang Ya picked up the wine glass and drank the wine in it. Then her eyes lit up slightly. Your wine is good. As he spoke, he took the initiative to grab the decanter and poured himself a glass. Lin Mo looked at her. Aren't you afraid that I will take advantage of you now? You? Tang Ya glanced at Lin Mo sideways. You don't have the courage. Lin Mo knew that Tang Ya was deliberately provoking him, so he smiled, turned around, pulled the backpack behind him and handed it over. The radio you wanted. Tang Ya's expression froze for a few seconds before she took over the radio and said, "Thank you." Lin Mo didn't say anything. He picked up the wine glass and drank the wine in it. "After I leave tomorrow, I probably won't come back." Tang Ya is checking the radio station. After hearing Lin Mo's words, he paused, then suddenly looked up at Lin Mo. After watching for more than 10 seconds, she slowly spoke. "I guessed before that this meal might not be simple, but I didn't expect it to be our farewell dinner." Lin Mo looked at her. "In fact, you have already prepared yourself mentally, haven't you?" If he hadn't been mentally prepared, why would he have been asked to find a radio station? On their way back from getting the gun, the two of them talked about their future plans. At that time he asked Tang Ya, "If I ask you to stay, will you stay?" Tang Ya avoided answering the question. From that time on, Tang Ya should have had the idea of looking for teammates. But perhaps she had some concerns, so she didn't bring up the radio station issue until yesterday. This also means that Tang Ya has finally made a decision. "I'm sorry." Tang Ya showed a trace of apology on her face. "Why do you feel sorry for me?" Lin Mo said with a smile, "We are just temporary partners." He actually understood Tang Ya's decision very well. On the one hand, compared with Tang Ya's teammates, he can only be regarded as a stranger. Between him and his teammates, Tang Ya would naturally prefer his teammates. On the other hand, he and Tang Ya have different plans for the future. Simply put, the paths they take are different. For most people, in the end times, the only way to survive better is to stick together and keep each other warm. As one of the best fighters in China, Tang Ya would naturally have such thoughts. But when Tang Ya asked him that day whether he wanted to establish a base, his answer was, "Not for the time being." Therefore, it is inevitable that Tang Ya will look for teammates. "Actually, I've thought about us going to find our teammates together." Tang Ya looked at Lin Mo, "But after getting to know you, I found that you are not someone who is willing to be controlled by others, and you have your own ideas, so letting you be with me may not be good for you." "I understand." Lin Mo poured himself another glass of wine and raised his glass. "Take care, I hope we can see each other again in the future." Tang Ya also picked up the wine glass. "We will definitely see each other again." Bite. The two wine glasses clinked lightly together. Chapter 29 Precious Kindness. Buzz. The roar of the engine sounded and then quickly faded away. 106th floor. Tang Ya stood in front of the sightseeing telescope, watching the Mercedes-Benz G disappear around the corner, then she slowly withdrew her gaze. Then she turned and looked at the backpack left by Lin Mo. In addition to the radio, the backpack also contained 2 sets of Special Forces combat uniforms and combat boots, as well as 200 pistol bullets and 2 grenades. Both grenades were left behind. Tang Ya said to herself with a complicated expression, "I said you are a saint, and I was right." As soon as she finished speaking, she walked forward, picked up a combat uniform and put it on. When the apocalypse began, she was on a mission, so she was wearing a leather jacket and leather pants. The situation was critical at the time, and she could only collect some food and water and then rushed here. Later I wanted to change my clothes, but I never had the chance to find them, so I have been wearing that leather jacket and leather pants until now. Unexpectedly, it was Lin Mo who helped her solve the problem in the end. The combat uniform fits the body perfectly. Tang Ya stared at her reflection in the French window for a moment, and a smile appeared in her eyes. "You bastard, you must have peeked at me a lot." She couldn't help but think of the day when she was lying on the ground and Lin Mo was staring at her. Tang Ya, who is always spirited, couldn't help but blush on her face. But she quickly shook these thoughts off and walked over to the radio. After tuning the radio to a special encrypted frequency, Tang Ya nervously pressed the call button. "Dragon Tooth Squad, Tang Ya calling headquarters, please reply." Repeated twice in a row. Waited another 3 minutes. After confirming that no one responded, Tang Ya changed the frequency and made the same call again. However, she changed 5 frequencies in a row and did not receive any response. Did everyone turn into zombies? Tang Ya looked a little solemn. The several frequencies it called were all Dragon Fang's emergency channels. The fact that these frequencies cannot be contacted means that the Longyear headquarters has most likely fallen. However, she quickly regained her spirits. There are survivors among ordinary people, how could there be none among Dragon Fang? She believed that not only she wanted to contact her teammates, but other surviving teammates must also be trying to find ways to contact each other. As long as she persisted, she would be able to get in touch with others, it was just a matter of time. Thinking of this, she turned off the radio. The radio was battery-powered, and there was no way to recharge it now, so she had to conserve power. But even so, I'm afraid it won't last long. We have to find a place with a generator. Tang Ya thought silently. The Mercedes-Benz G sped all their way and soon arrived at the place where he had earned points yesterday. Just as Lin Mo expected, there were indeed no zombies here. He stopped the car and casually dealt with more than a dozen zombies attracted by the sound of the engine. Then he took out a map of Mingzhu City and began to look at it. In the past, he looked at maps to find ways to avoid zombies. Now, he looks at maps to find densely populated areas. For him now, a small number of zombies can no longer satisfy his appetite. Therefore, his next target must be a densely populated area. Only in that kind of place will there be a large number of zombies for him to kill, and only then can he quickly accumulate points and improve his strength. Soon, he locked onto a point on the map. It was an old residential area called Zizhuyuan. This type of old community has small distances between buildings, tall floors, and a high population density, which definitely meets his requirements. The most important thing is that this community is less than 3 kilometers away from where he is now. Even if the G-class cannot pass through, he can still walk there. Putting away the map, Lin Mo set off in his G-class. Sure enough, after walking less than a kilometer, the road was completely blocked. The roads were full of cars crashing into each other. In addition, the roads near the old residential areas are narrow and the sidewalks are only 2 meters wide, making it impossible for cars to pass through. Lin Mo could only put the G-class into the system space and then walk towards Zizhu Garden. When it was about 1 kilometer away from Zizhu Garden, Lin Mo suddenly stopped. Because he heard the voice of the handheld megaphone. Apples, fresh apples, for yuan a pound, 10 yuan for 3 pounds, try before you buy, no charge if not sweet or crispy. The voice with a hint of rustic flavor was repeated mechanically. It came from a small alley next to the main street. But that's not the point. The point is, it's been 7 or 8 days since the end of the world began, how come this handheld loudspeaker still has power? There are survivors nearby. This handheld loudspeaker should be the tool they use to lure away the zombies. Lin Mo made a judgment instantly and walked towards the direction where the sound came from. But just as he was about to enter the alley, bang! A very slight sound was heard not far from him. Lin Mo looked in the direction of the sound and saw a $1 coin at the location where the sound came from. His expression moved, he stepped forward, picked up the coin, and looked around. Really? From the 3rd floor window of a business building on the street, he saw someone waving at him and motioning him to go up. Lin Mo nodded, found the entrance to the stairs, and walked up quickly. As soon as he reached the 3rd floor, the door of one of the rooms opened. A middle-aged man, about 35 or 36, with a simple face, rushed out quickly, pulled him into the room, and then quickly closed the door. This is a small room, about 20 square meters. There is a double bed against the wall of the room. On the bed, a little girl, about 7 or 8 years old, with a dirty face, was looking at him with curiosity. Lin Mo smiled at the little girl and continued to look around the room. The furnishings in the room are simple, but full of the breath of life. These two, one big and one small, should have lived here before the end of the world. Little brother, how dare you run around outside alone? You'll be dead if you're discovered by those monsters. The middle-aged man said with a look of fear on his face. Lin Mo was about to speak, but was interrupted by the middle-aged man. You want to find something to eat, right? That's right, in this situation, if you are not too hungry, who would dare to run out? The middle-aged man said this, hesitated for a moment, but still walked to the bed, opened the bed box, took out a loaf of bread from it and handed it to Lin Mo. When the bed board was lifted up, Lin Mo saw that there were a lot of daily necessities such as instant noodles, bread, and mineral water in the bed box. Judging from the quantity, it is at least enough for these two people to live for about half a month. I remembered that when I went upstairs just now, I saw a convenience store not far away. If nothing unexpected happens, these things should have been obtained by the middle-aged man at the convenience store at great risk. Thank you, brother. Lin Mo held the bread, feeling a little emotional. In the last days, everyone is in danger. The middle-aged man not only helped him enthusiastically, but was also willing to give him food. This kindness is truly precious. Especially when he saw the little girl on the bed staring at the bread in his hand. He knew that these two people were not having an easy life. "I'm not hungry, you eat it." Lin Mo tore the bread and handed it to the little girl. The little girl didn't answer it, but looked at the middle-aged man. "Little brother, you eat it." "She just ate it not long ago and can still hold on," said the middle-aged man. "I'm really not hungry, let the child eat." Lin Mo took out another bottle of milk from his backpack system wall, opened it, and stuffed it into the child's hand together with the bread. Seeing the milk, the little girl couldn't help swallowing. But he still didn't eat or drink, but looked at the middle-aged man. "Eat, thank you, uncle." The middle-aged man nodded. "Thank you, uncle," the little girl said crisply, and then began to eat and drink with big mouthfuls. Lin Mo rubbed the little girl's head with some pity, and then started a brief chat with the middle-aged man. The middle-aged man is called Du Yang, a small vendor nearby who makes a living by selling fruits and vegetables. The little girl is called Du Xiameng, and she is his daughter. Du Yang also has a wife, and a family of 3 rented this room before the end of the world. When the apocalypse broke out, the couple was selling fruit on the street. Du Yang's wife turned into a zombie at that time. Du Yang escaped by chance and fled back home as soon as possible. Du Xiameng escaped the disaster because she did not go to school that day due to illness. After that, the father and daughter hid in the room and dared not go out. It was not until noon today, when Du Yang saw that his daughter was so hungry that she could not bear it anymore, that he ventured to the convenience store to find some food. The handheld loudspeaker outside was what he had placed in the alley specifically to lure away the zombies. "Luckily you didn't go into that alley," Du Yang said with a look of fear. "You don't know, I wanted to stop you at that time, but I didn't dare to speak out, which made me very anxious." "Are there many zombies in that alley?" Lin Mo asked. In the beginning, there were a lot of them. It was a small market with a lot of traffic. But 2 days ago, some noises came from the neighborhood next door, which attracted all the monsters away. "That's why I dared to put the loudspeaker there," Du Yang said, "but there are probably quite a few now." After the loudspeaker was put down, I saw with my own eyes that many monsters returned to the alley. Lin Mo nodded, and seeing that Du Xiameng had finished her bread and milk, he took out a bag of potato chips from his bag and handed it to her. Du Xiameng's face was full of desire, but she did not take it immediately. Instead, she looked at Du Yang. "Eat it. Your dad will agree." Lin Mo directly tore open the package and stuffed it into Du Xiameng's hand. This little girl is so sensible that it makes people feel distressed. Du Yang originally wanted to refuse, but when he saw his daughter's eager eyes, he couldn't bear it and could only nod. "Thank you, uncle." Du Xiameng then took the potato chips and started eating. But unlike eating bread before, she ate very slowly, dividing each slice into several bites. Lin Mo realized that it was not because she was full, but because she was reluctant to eat too fast. Not surprisingly, potato chips were not something she could eat often before the apocalypse. "By the way, brother Lin Mo, where were you going just now?" Du Yang asked. He had thought that Lin Mo was going to find something to eat, but judging from Lin Mo's actions, he should not be short of food and drink. Lin Mo suddenly saw the gas stove in the corner of the room. "Brother Du, you should be able to cook, right?" Du Yang was a little confused by Lin Mo's sudden change of topic, but he still nodded. "Yes, what's wrong?" Lin Mo pointed to the gas stove. "Is there any gas left?" Most communities now use natural gas, and only some rental houses have gas stoves. Du Yang nodded. "Yes." "Then please cook us a meal." Lin Mo took out a piece of beef weighing 2 or 3 pounds, a fish, and 2 handfuls of green vegetables from his backpack. "Don't be reluctant to part with the ingredients, cook them all, I'll be back in time for dinner." After saying that, he pushed the door open and walked out. "Come back, Wei." Du Yang didn't finish his words before the door was closed. He could only quickly get up and look out the window. Then I saw that after Lin Mo went downstairs, he actually walked towards the alley. "Lin." Du Yang wanted to shout, but as soon as the voice came out, he was so scared that he quickly covered his mouth. When he saw Lin Mo walk straight into the alley, his legs softened and he sat down on the ground with only one thought in his mind: Lin Mo is finished.